Yeah, right, and that's, I don't know, I think it was a couple of years, I think it was developed by. So we have, not everything, but it is track dailies, so all the transient track and everything, written down, so I remember drawing cars on graph paper, recording coordinates and all this stuff, it was really old school.
So where did you first get on? Driver daily things, and start figuring this thing down. Where do you go? Where's the track? I thought the racing car, those guys were like daily. Yeah. For example, when we did the S3 car, we had a lot of data. We had a lot of data from the starter. So that was pretty much the track that it does.
Attention spectators. Just a reminder that tonight's feature event is brought to you by the folks over at iRacing. If you want the most realistic motor vehicle simulation on planet Earth, head over to www.iracing.com to sign up for your membership while the 50% off. You can jump into the rookie MX-5, from third street stock to regular street stock, not to mention the Pro 92 pickups for fun over the jumps and dirt. Once again, www.iracing.com.
We've done a couple of comparison videos over the years here, and we often use that as the original, and it's always fun to look at the graphics level on that.
It's funny because I mean, at the time, I remember thinking once we got up and running, it just seemed awesome. It's like, wow, this is what it's like to drive in Indianapolis versus the Indianapolis. But what we do now, it's fun to look at synthesis now and
So where did you first get on? Driving daily things, and start figuring this thing down. Where do you go? Where's the track? I thought the racing car, those guys were like daily. We had a lot of data from the starter, so that was pretty much the track that it does.
That was what we used to work on, right? But this is time. As soon as we got all the data we needed in one document, how long did we use it?
Well, that's changed a lot in the 5 years that I've racing that. So when I started, it was pretty simple, probably 3 or 4 weeks to do hard. Now that's closer to months. Each season, we displays, something that's supposed to be in the AI.
The reality is probably long, all the data that they want.
Don't forget to take part in our 50-50 raffle tonight. Head on down to Snack Shack.
So instead of having a clipboard, I have a laptop. And they run things on the car, they put those changes on the laptop, put it into a database, and they can share that.
You probably have to stick with one while you're working on cars. You gotta get one car. You can't switch cars every 10 minutes and try to run something. What you want to really look to get you comfortable at the track. Very well.
Good evening, race fans. Welcome to CRN's live coverage of the Racing Line at Daytona 500. Drivers going to be out here at the famed, beautiful Daytona International Speedway for 200 laps to claim some prize money out there. We got money going out to the top 5. The pole award going to go to Tony Brennan here tonight. We'll get a rundown of tonight's order, but the car's going to be out here, or the driver's going to be out here in the next-gen cars. 2 faster pairs. 200 laps. Got to be patient, as always, here at Daytona as the car is getting ready to roll off. Carl Hamworth joined in the booth by Jimmy Covert. Jimmy, back here at the big old 2.5-mile Daytona International Speedway, ready for another one.
Yeah, let's rock and roll at Daytona as these drivers are going to be out here for quite a while. So 16 drivers out on the track at the moment, and obviously some excited, some maybe not so excited how long it's going to be. There is going to be like a midway kind of stopping point, like everybody pull your car over and, sit on the track and take a restroom break. So, I mean, it is a long time to be out here, Carl. And, it's even, I'm sure for the fans, it's going to be fun to watch. There will be times, I'm sure, we might run out of things to say. Me and Carl could talk quite a while, but we're going to see if we can make sure we keep it action-packed the whole time. But things do happen, so we might have a break here and there as well. But we appreciate everybody coming by and watching these drivers come out here and try to earn a couple dollars and have some fun today.
We're just gonna swing the camera around here a little bit for everybody, so you can take a look at the paint schemes on the cars here tonight, because that is going to be something that myself and Jimmy are going to be voting on, the best paint scheme out here tonight. We'll give you a rundown of tonight's starting order. It is going to be Tony Brennan on the front row, Mike Casey starting in P2, Justin Spengler in P number 3, Aaron Gerwitz in P number 4, Daniel Esteban Cardoza in P number 5, Chris Perry in P number 6, Jason Crispin, P number 7, Paul Helms, Matthew Rakes, Matthew Jordan for your top 10. We'll get through the rest of them here. Just want to get everyone ready for the start of this thing as the pace truck is in. And it's time to go racing here for the Racing Line Daytona 500.
Let her rip, tater chips. 200 laps on the docket here tonight. And, yeah. Well, here we go for lap number 1.
Good start for the field, and this is a 16-car field. The rest of the field that we didn't get to: Terry Jansen, Brandon Sox, Matthew Scruffy Jordan, Zane Bierman, Dale Garner Jr., and Bradley Worley. The 16 drivers out here tonight looking to take home the inaugural win here for the TRL Daytona 500. And again, a good start. The one thing that's nice about these next-gen cars is they are pretty stable when it comes to getting into these corners. I know we've been here certainly with the Xfinity cars, and you see the Xfinity cars kind of dancing around a little bit. They don't like dirty air at all, and they don't like getting this into some of these corners, and you'll see the drivers kind of have to fight it a little bit. But here, these next-gen cars are a little bit more planted, a little bit better downforce, and should provide for some good, just clean drafting. But I mean, right now, Jimmy, on lap number 2, you need to worry about getting to lap number 198, and then start to worry about getting into it. But we're plenty away from that.
Yeah, I mean, they're out here. I think they're on full tanks. I'm hoping they're on full tanks. But so they're gonna be out there, just kind of chilling. Probably got their foot. I mean, I know we talk about it. Here's Daytona. It's a super speedway. Yeah, their foots are probably pretty much smashed. Especially that leader just hugging that yellow line, and Tony Brennan. I mean, I'm sure does not mind being out front, having a nice run here so far, at least to kind of get out here. But does he have friends out there? Or is somebody going to go with him because he's out front? Obviously they're going to tuck up behind him, but he'll end up being the driver with like no fuel. Same thing with Mike Casey. Is that Mike? Yeah, set the 6, Mike Casey. Yeah, Mike Casey out there on the outside, leading the second group. And Carl, they did have some model adjustments that I about better side drafting and closer racing. So
yeah, was that for the next gen cars as well? I know it was definitely for the Xfinity cars that I was mentioned in some of the groups that were in. I don't know if it was the next gen cars as well, but it would be nice because it can get a little bit funky when it comes to side drafting.
Yeah, because it's a good obviously we see the cars kind of drifting up, and this is Daytona, so when you go into the corners, if your foot's on the floor, your car will kind of, just jump up a little bit, just slide up to the track, like a half a track or so, not half a track, half a car, and that's where easing with your throttle the whole time kind of comes into place. Like when you come into the corner, so you're not carrying that big momentum down the straights into the corner, you just lift a little bit, let the draft kind of do its thing. See a couple cars jockeying around there in the mid-pack, but we talk about this plenty of times coming here, but it's if you do it, you can hug the yellow line. Everybody can without moving around too much or if at all. So, but yeah, we're underway now. A couple laps in, as we are 5 laps in of the 200. And you got a couple drivers now still on that outside, but pretty much everybody's single file. And I have a feeling they know and understand that they're going to be out here a long time. I do know in the chat, I know everybody's in the iRacing chat, but in Discord, where the heck is it? I got too many Discords. But yeah, you have a bunch of people in there, and they're pretty much everybody's grouped up. You got 2 race controls up there. You got Daniel and Pinkston and Derek up there in the race control chatterbox. You got a couple people, Terry Jansen and Chris Perry, in a room there. But I'm looking down at Team 5, and I got Brandino down there. I'm trying to see where I don't know who Brandino is, unless it's Brandon Sox.
Brandon Sox, yep.
Yeah, so that's well, at least that's a good guess, because sometimes they don't have their when you get these new Discords, sometimes they don't have their racing name in there, or they're just added or news, and they haven't had a chance to do that yet. But you wonder for that number 17 if he's got anybody to run with. I mean, he's down there by, I think he's by himself. Yeah, he's down there by himself. So nobody in the chat to kind of work with, but then there's obviously a lot of 191 Motorsports
just a few
drivers out
just
here.
A few.
There's a few out here tonight, so they've all raced together with a couple people thrown in, so it's always good to obviously see a lot of people that we know, but they're kind of just chilling. And they can work together. So will 191 Motorsports come in as a whole and everybody follow, or can somebody like Chris Perry get out front and Terry Jansen and work their way around the front? But I think the one thing I know a lot of people want to be careful, but the one thing you don't want to do is you don't want to lose this draft, and especially early on. We are lap 8 of 20, and you can see that Paul Helms kind of he's got back up.
Yeah, he's
but you don't want
on the back, but he's still hanging in there.
Yeah, you do not want to lose this draft. As much as you want to play it safe, and I think this is the smart call. Obviously, out here to run a 500, and you know it comes down to it where you know you got to treat this like we do when we come here for the 24 hours of Daytona. You know, we're out here. You can't. There's no sense of making a move and trying to bull rush your way through the race, because you have to pit, and you still have to complete 192 more laps. So, you know, where you going? Nowhere. So just relax, just keep in the draft, and stay with the group for now. You know, and if you're not out front, you're saving fuel.
Well, and if you're out front, you almost need to make sure that you have some teammates, because you know, like right now, Tony Brennan out front leading this thing. He's the one pushing the air away from everybody else behind him. So everybody else that's behind him is able to draft in there, save fuel. You got Justin Spengler right there in second, Daniel Esteban Cardoza in third, and Jason Chrisman, Michael Rakes making up your top 5. But they're all tucked in there, able to burn less fuel than we. So you know, Tony Brennan, we're not sure on the fuel mileage, but you know, let's say that the fuel window is 40 laps. Tony Brennan may need to come in at lap 38 because he's burning off all the fuel. Where some of the guys behind him may be able to stretch it out to 42 if they wanted to. And as much as you need friends while you're out here in the draft, you absolutely need friends coming into the pits, because you need to get back up to speed, utilizing a draft of at least one, preferably 2-3 other cars with you. So pit stops, I think, are going to be at a premium here tonight. And judging by the
no, please calm down, Brandon.
A little bit, just testing the waters out here, but I do like to see in the chat there that the midway potty break is covered by the sponsors here. The sponsors paid for the midway potty break, so definitely a good one there. May need some kind of urinal kit company to sponsor the midway break.
But yeah, I think the sun is rising here at Daytona. I think it's what time's sim time. No, it's nighttime. It is 5:42 p.m. On the 15th of February. So yeah, I'm looking at my real time. I was like, yeah, it's 9:18 a.m. now. That's my time. Yeah, I got up this morning. I was like, oh, it's 10 o'clock. I was like, wait a minute. Eastern time.
Yeah,
like,
normal time. We're on normal time here, Jimmy.
No, you're not normal time. You're weird time. So I was like, okay, let me be sure. And I guess it's a good sign. I know Carl was covering tonight, or I should say today, and kind of get his new system kind of in the works and ready to go. And hopefully everything's turned out. I have done a few upgrades myself, but still fine-tuning stuff. I kind of went with the option of not updating our Windows, so I don't know if I'm on board with that or call yet. So, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just say everything's I'm gonna be fine-tuning it today, and then tomorrow we got 191 back out here again this week. So. I'm gonna hopefully be everything ready. Somebody's on the wall, not good. Who's that? Zane? Is that Zane?
No, it wasn't Zane Bierman. Maybe Chris Perry. Yeah, Chris Perry back here, eating the wall there a little bit. Looks like gonna get away with it. I do see showing Mike Casey in pit lane. I think it's just because he dipped down there a little bit to try and avoid the issue there. But we'll try and take a look at that here one more time and maybe see what happened here. This was a late move to try and avoid it there, but avoid the contact there with Terry Jansen. So Chris Perry in the wall. We'll take a look at the rear view there for Chris Perry if we can.
He's got some left front damage on that car, Carl.
Definitely some left front and maybe a little bit on the right side as well.
Yeah, left front and right's got a lot more damage there. It's kind of crinkled up, and so no meatball. And I'm sure he's hoping for a caution here early, but we're on lap 14, and these drivers are going to try to make a full pit stop. So I don't know, Carl. I mean, you're in danger going a lap down, and you've lost a draft this fast.
He has lost his draft right now. Yeah, I mean, I think it's still way too early to come in at this point. I think it's a shame, but I think you ride it out here if you're Chris Perry and try and get a little bit further into this race. Even if you go down a lap, you'll be in the lucky dog position if a caution comes out, and you'll be able to get right back in there. Right now, the only thing that's going to help you out is a caution anyway. So until you're you're almost getting close to being 2 laps down, that's when it gets to the troublesome spot. But we know we're going to have the midway break, and I would assume that for that break we're going to have a lucky dog situation there.
I don't think a caution's coming out. I think they're just going to say everybody stop, and
well,
everybody's going to park.
We haven't seen the first set of pit stops yet, so we may get a caution well before the halfway break here, because you know as well as I do that your favorite part of broadcasting these Daytona races, it's not necessarily the races, it's not even the finishes, it's the pit stops.
It's pit stops. It's straight up pit stops. Yeah, it's the pit stops. I love to watch them come in and get things done here, and to try to come in, especially at Daytona. If they're all together, that they're going to come in groups. Whether it's the whole group. And I've done a lot of times Friday, it was years ago now, but on Friday nights they would have like these paid kind of Daytona races, and they would be about 30 lap races, which was a great length in my opinion. And these people would pay a decent amount of money per car, and you'd have a 40 car, 50 car field, so the pots are pretty big if you could win. The first 5 drivers, I think the first 5 drivers got some sort of payout, and I'm talking anywhere from a couple $100, to even third getting like $100. There's been some pretty big ones, so there's a lot of coordination between some teams and whatnot. But when they'd come in, Carl, and to see those green flag pit stops, man, it was just like they'd fan out and they'd all come in, and it was just this beautiful, like, and nothing happened. It was like all big harmony, kind of come in, pit, and then come back out. It was just wild to see that they could get it done. And so now that I've seen it, I'm looking for it every single time here at Daytona and Talladega, to see those like the massive amount of people coming in at once at high speed. So it's a lot of fun to watch. But we're doing good here so far. We are on lap 18 of 200. So we're working our way through the first 100 here. Tony Brennan is your leader with Justin Spangler. And then Daniel there, MP number 3, Jason Chrisman in 4, Braden Sox, and then got Michael Rakes, Scott Henderson, Bradley Worley, Matthew Jordan, Michael Casey, Zane Bierman, Aaron Gerwitz, Dale Garner Jr., Paul Perry, and Carl, I think I'm coming. Like, if I was Chris Perry, I probably would have came in. I know you talked about I have to stay out. I'm gonna come in. I'm gonna let myself, hopefully, I can get in and get out, and then when the cars come around, I can catch the tail end of the draft. But at this point, we know he's powers down. They're going to lap him. That's a given. And then he's still going to be down power, and he's not going to be able to hold on to that draft. And he didn't lose, the draft because he was not. He was still part of the field. He was on and kind of make sure he kept the accident out there. But I would have came in. That would have been my call.
Well, the way I look at it is that these drivers have 2 fast cars here tonight as well, and I think, for me, if you're going to go down a lap, regardless if you come into the pits early or if you decide to wait and get lapped, and hopefully grab onto that the tail end of the field, if you can keep enough speed up to do so. And again, until you're almost 2 laps down, you're kind of stuck regardless. It looks like Chris Perry is going to take your advice. He's going to come into the pits here early.
I'm coming in. I'm coming in.
But if you can get even grab one when they lap you the first time, if they come into the pits and there's a wreck and you're caught up in it, and you already came in and used one of those fast repairs, and all of a sudden you're down both your fast repairs early on in this race. So it's a bit of a gamble here. I mean, Perry's going to come in. He's going to use one of his faster pairs only a tenth of the way through this race right now, so he's got to be really smart the rest of this race and got to avoid any kind of issues here. But you see, he's down a lap, coming back out, and he's going to be right back in that situation.
He would have had to come. He would have had to come in immediately. He should have came in like when that happened. He should have just came right down into the pits and kind of taken that, and then he would have been out on the track, up to speed, and then they would have came by. And he could have snatched on, and he just would have been one lap down, and his car's already fixed, so he would have been lucky dog. He would have been come in, and then he could have pit, and then he would have got the lucky dog. He could have pitted. And then he'd be on the lead lap, and his car's fixed. And only going a lap down now, since he stayed out there for a while, went a half a lap down before he got back out there. You can see right now he's less than half a lap. He came in a lap. He just would have been in better shape. Now he's in that same situation that I'm talking about with you, where you're saying, just kind of stay out there until whenever. But he would have got lapped multiple times, before they came in. They're at lap 22. They're going to go probably another 20 plus laps here pretty easily. Long as leading, but Terry Brennan's and as the 65 leading, I think there's a point. I'm also like, all right, what's your, especially if you have a partner, what's your feel like? And if they're like, oh yeah, hey buddy, you're 5 laps shorter than we are now because we've been using you as a draft. Yeah, I might be like going outside and just losing the lead. I think picking the draft up at the back. You can see right now we do have a small spread here in the field here. Now we have 2 groups. So is this going to be our 2 groups for pit stops?
Well, I mean, there's no bonus points for leading the most laps here for Tony Brennan, so there's no benefit to leading at this point. And if anything, I mean, maybe some camera time. I promise you right now, I know, Renee, a big supporter out there, and certainly rooting on both, both Scott and Mike Casey out there. But for the longest time, we had Scott Henderson on there. That wasn't just because Renee's out there watching and one of our big supporters. I have it set to.
She doesn't have to. I know the relationship between Renee and the 3, or the 2 drivers. So yeah, she doesn't have to be nice to Mike, but you're not required to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But as I was saying, it wasn't by design by having it on Scott Henderson that longest time. I have it on exciting. There's a camera option where instead of selecting a driver, you can have it on crashes. You can have it on exciting. And here's an exciting moment. The 88 has blown up, and it's one thing I was just about to get into is. These drivers haven't really been getting close to each other, haven't really been pushing. I seen Worley getting really close there to pushing the second pack leader right here, the 72 of Scott Henderson. And I think too close, too long. The 88 goes up in smoke and came into the pits there a little bit too hot as well. So not only is he going to have to get stopped in his pit box, get that thing repaired. He's getting 4 tires and fuel as well. But he's going to have to come right back in next lap and serve a penalty. So this is a big mistake here for Worley early on.
Well, I mean, Chris Perry now has a buddy.
Yeah, for better or worse.
So, yeah, that's well, got to kind of get that fast repair. At least he was able to get it back to the pits. Obviously, the car is not smoking. That is the early warning and obviously a giant flag there.
He's actually serving the penalty right now as it was on entry, so an extra 40-second hold. So at least he doesn't have to come back into the pits, but extra 40-second hold right now to clear that black flag as he blew up coming out of turn number 3 and immediately came down into the pits. He just couldn't slow that thing down in time, but luckily he slowed it down to get into his box.
Yeah, it's I don't think that's the first time I've seen a car actually blow up and the smoke actually come off the car immediately. That's what happened when you have the graphics to maximum.
Yeah, I seen the smoke. I'm looking for an incident, like a crash or something like that, and all of a sudden I see the 88 drop down. And I've been watching him, and he's the only one that's really gotten close to the back end of somebody to this point. And sure enough, yeah, just a little bit too close, too long, and these cars will blow up. Obviously, you need to maybe dip out there a little bit, get some fresh air on the front. I mean, you see right now the 23 of Matthew Scruffy Jordan, pretty close to the back end of Scott Henderson, and all depends on where you have your cameras and everything set up in iRacing. If you're close enough or you're far enough away to see the dashes and to see the gauges, and then some people run overlays to have the gauges. But if your point of view, your camera angle isn't close enough, or sorry, far enough away to see the gauges,
D for dash.
You got exactly. You got to pay attention to what's going on here, because that is a big mistake early for the 88. But it is plenty early yet as well, so we'll see if he's able to get back in the mix of this. But he's already down 2 laps, so right now, not even in the lucky dog position. Chris Perry would be in that position right now, and we're still 2 groups out there. You got Tony Brennan, Justin Spengler, Cardoza, Sox, Chrisman for your top 5. Rakes also a part of that first group, and then Scott Henderson leads the second group with Jordan, Casey, Bierman, Garner, Gerwitz, Jansen, and Helms.
The thing was getting a little bit interesting here as they worked their way through the first quarter of this race. I think that's the one way we should probably look at it, Carl. We should take this race in quarters, as there's got plenty of laps out there. 50 laps kind of fit for 50 lap stints. Can they make 50 laps?
They cannot. The word on the street is I was actually pretty dang close when I said about 40 laps. It looks like it's roughly around lap 38 is when the pit window is going to open. We'll see if anybody has to come in earlier.
38 leading or 38 drafting?
Well, exactly. That's what I was going to say with Tony Brennan. He may have to come in earlier than that, or maybe 38 is the max you can do for leading.
Well,
but
Tony Brennan might get a break here as he's coming up in a lap car if he can let Chris Perry do some leading for a while.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm sure Chris Perry wouldn't mind. It would keep him only 1 lap down.
Grab onto this strap. Come on down. Come down. Get some side drip.
You listen to you for the pit stop. He didn't listen to you right now, though. He's got to catch the back of his back right now.
Get the draft, buddy. Come down. Another car. Come on, get that tail. Come on. Get in there.
Big dive down there, but maybe too late as
he needed to be a little bit closer. And I'm hoping
he may just have it, and he does. He does. Yep.
If he does, see,
he does.
If you would have listened to me the first time, this is where you'd be at. Only 1 more and on the tail up, and he just been chilling until an accident happened, or if they do throw a caution, he come back out and find himself here. Now, what he does from here is kind of up to him. If this field kind of comes in, he might want to stay with him. And maybe they'll let him go by and lead. He's got the most fuel. Put him out front. Let Tony Brennan get a break from draft and let if something happen and if a caution come out, catch up on the rest of the field.
Well, the problem is Chris Perry not in the 191 chat. He's in there with Terry Jansen. So I think may have to do kind of what I do, a little multitasking, bring up the Discord and switch himself. No offense, Terry, but I need to get down here. I need to talk to these boys here real quick and tell them, listen, I can handle this thing for us.
I got the most fuel. You can save a little bit. And then if a caution did come out, I would give, would be the lucky dog. So he'd go around twice. Because he'd be up front, because he'd be on still be a lap down, only 1 lap down. And then he'd get the lucky dog. So he'd come right back around again. So it'd be a great thing for, the number 34 there. Well, 34 on screen, 88, or excuse me, 30. Yeah, no, he's a 34. I was looking at Bradley Worley. But Bradley Worley, on the other hand, is in the same situation. And right now in that 16th spot. So, Bradley's part of 191. So there's a lot of talk. There's a lot of talk there. So do you let the outsider in and help him out and possibly gain another league mate? Or you help your league mate out. So we're gonna find out here as these drivers work their way around the track tonight for sure. But we're on lap 33 of 200, Carl, and pit laps should be coming up.
You should be looking at pit stop starting in about 3 to
Crispin
5
off.
laps, but we've got a major incident here coming out of turn number 4, and
Lane Bierman?
trying to see where this actually even
14.
started.
14 smoking some major damage.
Right there, and rewind it here and get a better look at what happened here, as looks like the 14 and 17 coming together here. 14 drifts up the track, the 17 comes down the track. And that is certainly where it started. Wow, the 14, the back end of the 14 just really kicked that 17 down to the inside. Jason Crispin gets a piece of it as well. Brandon Sox in the 17 goes up, hard impact into the outside wall. And you see some major damage there for the 14 of Cardoza, as well as he's going to have to bring it down into pit lane.
Oh, Chris Perry had the parts. I don't know if you watch that from Chris Perry's point of view. The cars just parted waves, like like it was from the Bible. From the Bible, he just drove right through.
Let's take a look at here one more time. Oh, we're already past it right now, so we'll rewind this thing, take a look at it here one more time, and slow it down for the first brown pants moment here. Certainly of the race. It won't be the last, but yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
one car to the right, one car to the left.
55 is Zane Bierman, just trying to slow up and got down on that apron, and he ends up sliding it. That's why you've seen his name come up. Did he stay off the wall? Yeah. So I was wondering why Zane was going down there, but well, what a better time to not make a whole green flag pit stop here, and I'm sure pit lane is busy.
I can hear you from here, Jimmy. I can hear the womp womp that we're not going to get a green flag pit stop this time.
Disappointed already.
Well,
where's my green flag?
Listen, it's a good thing we're not even a quarter of the way through this thing, and we should be still set up for at least another 4 attempts at a green flag pit stop before this thing is over. Plenty of pit stops here tonight. But in comes the field. I'm sure Chris Perry's going to stay out there. He's going to get one of his laps back and should get back to 1 lap down. Bradley Worley going to come in with the field here. He is still going to be 2 laps down. But while we have a moment, want to thank everybody that's kind of made this happen here tonight. I want to thank Daniel Pinkston and his son, as well as both of them not running here tonight. Daniel Pinkston and Derek are both in the race control booth, helping out and being the race admins for this thing. And it's we mention it all the time, especially at 191, where Daniel Pinkston is kind of like the all-time race control there. It's a thankless job, and it's a job that more often than not you get crapped on before you get thanked. And we would like to recognize him, because it is not an easy job to be dealing out penalties or be dealing with drivers complaining about penalties, this and that, and it is definitely well worth it. And Daniel was the one behind getting this all set up here as well for the Racing Line Daytona 500. I want to thank our sponsors, as well as obviously the Racing Line is the league putting this one on. AdminBoxx. I want to thank 191 Motorsports, Kim's Kups and more, and Jordan Family Racing as well for everything that they've done to put up some of the prize sponsorships for the race, to put up the halfway potty break as well. So thank everyone for doing that, and want to thank everyone out there in Sierra Nation as well, because I mean, midday on a Saturday, or I guess mid morning. For some, maybe even early morning if you're watching out there on
just
the
woke
West
up.
Coast. Exactly, Jimmy. It's not often that Jimmy's drinking a coffee doing a broadcast, but it's
No.
I mean,
Usually it's waking up waiting to get in the car for a 24-hour event.
listen, it's a Saturday. Unless you have something going on with the family, there's nothing on. There's no racing. There's no sports on here. Midday or mid morning here. So no better place to be than right here at CRN. So I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe. Get you in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. As we this is a special event for us putting this one on, but we got racing 5 nights a week here on CRN as we broadcast 191 Motorsports on Sunday nights. Monday nights, we have the Hold Your Brakes Academies. They're going to be coming back here in a couple weeks to start their new season. Tuesday nights, we have the Core Xfinity Series. Wednesdays, we have the doubleheader as CSRL is going to be in between seasons here, so they'll be off for a couple weeks, but they'll be back in action very soon. And then Pit Road Speed Limit Racing as well on Wednesday nights. And Thursday nights, we have the Virtual Velocity Racing Series as well. So 5 nights a week, me and Jimmy are in your ears here if you want us to be. So hit that like and subscribe to get you in here. But it's fun, and this is it's fun to put on something like this, special events here every once in a while, whether it's a an extended oval race or even the extended road races can be fun as well. But it's time to get our first restart of the night, and it's time to see somebody else leading as well. It is no longer Tony Brennan at the front. The new leader is going to be Brandon Sox. Daniel Esteban Cardoza in second. Justin Spengler, Tony Brennan, and Jason Crispin going to be your top 5. Then you got Michael Casey, Matthew Jordan, Aaron Goretz, Scott Henderson, and Dale Garner Jr. for your top 10. Zane Bierman, Terry Jansen, Paul Helms, Matthew Rakes, the final cars on the lead lap. Chris Perry now only down 1 lap, so would love to see a quick caution on this restart to get him back onto the lead lap. And I'm sure Bradley Worley wouldn't mind either. He's still down 2 laps, so he needs to get himself in that lucky dog position one way or another. And maybe a quick wave around for Bradley Worley would be nice as well. But pace truck is in. It's time to get this thing back to racing.
Yeah, get this thing back to green here as they get underway. And the thing is, nice and easy start here. And obviously, the leader getting a pretty good jump there. And usually doesn't work out well in short time events, as the field usually comes by and just runs you over as like you were a lap car. But you can see hopefully they know that this thing is only 38 laps in, not even quite 1/4 of the way. We're on lap number 38 of 200, and Brandon Sox there in that Hooters machine will be leading the way. Looking forward to seeing what else anybody can got out here. And Tony Brennan gonna do is out there leading these first bunch of laps. And was that a situation he was comfortable with only because it was early, or does he want to now try the other end and try to just get in that draft? But we've seen 2 drivers blow up from being too close, Carl. And yeah, if you're out there listening or watching, just pressing the D button on the keyboard will bring up that dashboard if you can't see your dashboard. But if you go down in the car, Carl, and I know you now have some larger viewing with some better FOV, you can see all that stuff down there. But it's do they have that up on their dashboard? I mean, I'm down in my cockpit right now, just kind of looking into the car, and I'm not seeing. Oh yeah, it's oil temperature. It is in there, so it's right below the RPM line. As a matter of fact, so you gotta watch that oil and water temperature. Water temperature being the blue. If you go in the car, it's just 200. We don't get to see their live dash because that'd be cheating, I guess. I don't know. I'm not quite 100% on that. Why you can't see somebody's dashboard, but when you're viewing them during the race. But
well, I would think. I mean, if you're a spotter for somebody else, I mean, it could definitely be. I know we're here broadcasting, but if somebody used this kind of platform and you can relay it to the team and everything like that. So I get that as far as fuel or temperatures, things like that, or whatever, what have you. But the lights are starting to come on here at Daytona as the sun is starting to set. These cars starting to shine here a little bit. And now looking at Bradley Worley on the outside, he made an aggressive move to get to the outside. We leave that outside charge, which is not charging up too much at the moment. Maybe finally getting a little run going right now. But if you're Bradley Worley, I know it's only lap 41. I know you still got plenty of racing yet to go. I know you got you're only a fifth of the way through this race. But how aggressive do you go if you're Bradley Worley? Do you go just, what do I say, balls to the wall to get to the front right now and lead this thing, so that way if a caution comes out, you're only one lap down. You get that wave, you get the essential wave around to be one lap down at the back of the pack.
Well, we don't have 40 cars out here, Carl. We're only out here with 16. So cautions, aren't. They shouldn't. They shouldn't really kind of happen. So if I'm Bradley Worley and I want to give myself a chance, yes. And right now you have the opportunity with people following you to kind of get on that outside. Now to kind of get out there, will they just push them out to the front and let them get to the front, and let them, just be that one lap down to put them on the same lap as Chris Perry, or they gonna try to drive around them? There's other drivers on the outside. Maybe they want to go out and they want to lead some laps, but Bradley Worley does need to get out front. He needs to put himself in a position to, and he still won't get the lucky dog. So Chris Perry is still in better shape. If a caution flag like at right now, Chris Perry would be back on the lead lap, and Bradley Worley would be one down.
Yeah, it's putting you in a spot right now for Worley leading this pack right now. It's putting him in a spot where he's essentially going to get a wave around if a caution were to come out. And now you see Chrisman was the one to push him up there to begin with, but now I think Chrisman's got to be smart about this. We've seen, we've seen Worley blow up, and you got to maybe back off now, get some clean air on the front of that number 98, and just kind of chill out here a little bit as Worley leads the field here, but he is now one lap down. I guess maybe 1.5 laps down if you want to consider it that, because he's on the edge of being 2 laps down. But it is Jason Chrisman that is leading the race.
Jason Chrisman out there, and I mean, whoa. That caution almost came out. And that be back there. That was Paul Helms.
That's Zane Bierman.
No, it wasn't. It was
Zane Bierman back here.
Zane Bierman having another close one here. So kind of catch it and hopefully able to get up there. And Chris Perry back there just trying to just stay away from me. I can see it happening now. Because he knows what he's. I think Chris kind of knows where he's at right now, and he's in a good spot right now. He's in a lucky dog spot. And that's a good spot to be when you're down and you're in a race like this. But he's in the back of the pack, so if anything happens, he has to kind of get through that incident. And obviously, everybody's in front of him. So, that was close. Zane going down to the inside of Chris Perry there to kind of stay in touch there with Tony Brennan. Hot in the back here. Terry Jansen also out there, and Carl, I don't know if you've zoomed in, but Terry's been with us for a while over there at Core, and he has a huge he's very depends on Core a lot. He's very big time supporter here at CRN. Last week he put the QR code on his car to kind of support the GoFundMe that everybody's kind of put here for CRN. And so we really appreciate anybody who has donated to that. And I'm not even sure how long it will keep going, but we pretty much raised about almost 50%. So which is good, and it definitely helps me and Carl. And like we said before, we returned everything back to the viewing here of CRN, and anything left over, and we'll end up giving back to the community. So again, I do anyways, and I know sure Carl does too. Appreciate the assist so we can continue to bring these live broadcasts here, even for little events like this one here at Daytona. But Terry is a big supporter of that. And he's not only CRM but core, and I think he has a statement on the car.
Yep. Yeah, I have it on the screen. Yeah,
so
on the screen right now.
Go ahead and let the viewers read that. But he's it was a nice thought, nice gesture for sure.
Well, it's certainly a man looking at the the best paint scheme as well. He's trying to go for the best paint scheme out here, as well as once again we're going to be.
I haven't had my coffee yet.
Yeah, myself and Jimmy are going to be picking out the our favorite paint scheme, and we're going to have a winner for that. As we mentioned, there's plenty of awards out here. You got for the winner here tonight is going to be getting $100, but the top 5 drivers in the finishing order are going to cash in with with some prize money, and you also have the $10 pole award going to Tony Brennan. Hard charger for those that qualified. Whoever charges up through the field the most from the start of the race are going to get $15. The biggest loser who loses the most positions is going to get some money, and then as mentioned, the best paint voted on by myself and Jimmy are going to get out there. But once again, check out the the info here in the video on the bottom if you want to to show your support to any of the sponsors out there. Obviously 191 Motorsports, if you want to get in there and race with them on Sunday nights. The Discord link is down below. The AdminBoxx is a link is down below, and same thing for Kim's Kups and More. The Facebook link is down below if you want anything custom made to your liking there as well. But as you can see, it is starting to get dark here at Daytona, and the lights are starting to shine, as these cars are as well. We are now past the or actually going to be past the quarter-way mark this time by, as they're on lap number 50 right now. At the front of the field, technically, is Bradley Worley leading this thing, but your leader of the race is the man right behind him, Jason Chrisman, Brandon Sox, Justin Spengler, Mike Casey, Matthew Jordan for your top 5. Then you got Cardoza, Gerwitz, Garner Jr., Rakes, and Henderson for your top 10.
Yeah, so Worley out in the probably best position that he can put himself in at the moment. I'm sure he'd love to be in front of Chris Perry, and I know we keep talking about the lap cars, but that's where the excitement is, because there's strategy needed for these two for this race. And you start coming, we're nowhere early on. We're at lap 51, so we've broken the quarter-way mark here at Daytona. But he's got to think, when he starts getting towards the end of his tank, does he relinquish this position up and kind of maybe fall back a spot or two so he can come in with everybody? Or if he comes in, is the whole field going to just let him go anyways? So there's this because now, like Chris Perry, he's in the draft. He's just back there chilling. And he's not tucked up behind anybody really tight, which is kind of concerning. So, draft, you can be in the draft and then you can be drafting. If you're in the draft where you're getting pulled along all the time and you're not exercising, being able to get off the pedal, you're not saving fuel. So if you're just in the draft and you still got to use maximum the maximum amount allowed for your gas pedal, then you're not saving any fuel at all. You're pushing just as much almost up as being up front. So you have to be able to lift and basically run 80%. The draft with these cars is pretty substantial, and so you don't get these huge runs coming out of the front for a draft. Just essentially you get behind somebody, you push, but you just lift just a little bit, and when you tuck up underneath, and that's when you see these drivers overheat and blow up, is because they take all that air off the front of the car. And I'm actually surprised, because we haven't seen a car blow up from pushing a draft in quite some time, Carl.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, a lot of times we're here with the Xfinity cars, and I think they can take it a little bit better, but I think it's a little bit tougher for the Xfinity cars to kind of get up there and reach the back bumper. Some cars almost kind of create a bubble that it's tough to for lack of a better term,
That's
break that
true.
bubble and get to the back end of another car to actually bump them and push them. But here, these next gen cars, I don't think it's necessarily the issue here at all. I think they can tuck up behind somebody and push them and bump them as much as they want, but it's as much as the car will allow is really what it comes back down to. So right now, it looks like the field kind of just settling in. They last came in on lap number 35. Brandon Sox came in lap number 33 is what it's showing me. Oh yeah, it's some cars came back in and topped off on lap number 35, but it's still got some ways to go before we see another attempt at a green flag pit stop. Hopefully, we will get to see that a few times here today. That's why Jimmy's here. That's the only reason Jimmy agreed to this. He knows there's a chance at some green flag pit stops at a super speedway.
Make my Saturday, boys. It's just or drivers, because I don't know. Make sure, unless maybe they're in their caution, they're swapping out with their spouse. The hot swap in the seats here at Daytona. I mean, that could be a thing, right?
I mean, we could do that, with spouses or with kids. I mean, real life driver changes. Hop out of the rig
right at the home.
Yeah, I like it. I like it.
I think that would be pretty eventful. Never know. You try to be honest about it, I guess. Just like a handshake, but yeah, just kind of get out there and.
Well,
I think it would be interesting.
Gotta talk to Scott. Renee, looking at you. You need to get into this race here. Yep. No more talking. No more talking. We'll have Scott up here, talking and rooting you on.
Yeah, no more talking. Get out there and get in the car. Tell him that you can do a better job. Or go over to your brother's house and kick him out of his car.
There you go.
Yeah, it's it'd be fun. There's all kinds of little events like this that you could have, and have a group of drivers kind of get together here. And obviously, a majority of them were 191, and Pinkston was talking. This is the first time he's putting anything together, so to have drivers actually come out and support him is always a big help. Lift up the shoulders so you don't have to want to do this thing, and you put everything together and. 20 people sign up and then 5 people only show up the day of. So to have, the majority of the field kind of come out here and, pretty good. So, and an event usually like Daytona, it gives drivers the opportunity to at least, maybe get that win. Not all drivers like super speedways. Some don't like super long speedways. But, Carl, when you get drivers, a lot of drivers that have been driving together in a league, and it's a little bit better. So it's better than doing the actual official Daytona 500 on iRacing, because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, right now the drivers are chill, right at the moment, maybe at lap 158, this might be a totally different conversation. But right now, everybody is kind of chill. They know they have to click laps away. If they're up there racing, yes, it could be fun. But like you said, they only have 2 fast repairs. So not the smartest of ideas this early on. So we're going to get, I'm sure we're going to get majority of this race out, and things are going to pick up as far as battles and switching positions a little bit later on. But we're on lap 58 of 200. Last lap that they were in is around lap 35, I think it is.
Yeah, 33 or 35, yep.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So there's some drivers are trying to make sure they continue to stay on that the same lap as the rest of their competitors here. Chris Perry and Bradley Worley, as we talked about them a lot here, is we want them to get back on the lead lap. And I see Chris Perry has kind of lost that draft, but has the drafting of Terry Jansen back there to kind of help. So. And that's a good thing. One, Terry Jansen, I'm sure, would like to get around and get back up to the lead pack, but he's at least not by himself. They're not as fast as the pack, but they're not as slow either. So
Well,
and
the
I
one that's kind of
believe-
stuck in the middle, though, that has lost the draft. Not sure what happened to Tony Brennan, but he is stuck in kind of no man's land right now. He has lost the draft of Zane Bierman and the back of the pack in front of him. So he's going to be the third one in line here very soon, I think, with Terry Jansen and Chris Perry, because he is far enough behind the lead pack. He's not going to be able to catch them up, and he's going to have to wait and join these other two back here.
Yeah, Tony Brennan, early leader here tonight, finds himself back, or tonight. Well, listen to me talk. This morning.
I mean, it's dark out. It's dark out.
I mean, I have... my room does not change very much, Carl. I have blackout curtains on my window because I work in my office, and one, they help keep the sun, keeps the sun out. The heat doesn't, blaze because it's the front of the house as well. And I live in Florida, you got to worry about the heat wave. Not so much this time of year because it's cool outside. It only reaches the 70s. But during the summer, to save myself, I have blackout curtains. But so my room never changes as far as dimness goes. But yeah, it is dark out here. Hopefully, obviously the lights out here at Daytona, and that's one thing about this track. If you have a night race at Daytona, the track is and especially for the Daytona 24 hours of Daytona, it's no real different than driving it in the day. But if you go to a track like, say, the Nürburgring, where the whole track is through the mountains, there's no lights through the mountains, so it's a huge difference when you apply something like that. And then there's a few tracks, I think Michigan, unfortunately being one of them, they don't have lights.
Yeah, same thing with Talladega.
So the whoever makes up the session has to be very careful not to set that clock at the wrong time, or the drivers will be trying to complete the impossible.
I mean, we've done at Talladega where there's no lights. I think we've done like the Cadillac CTSs, the CTS-Vs there, and it can be fun with just the lights on that one. But I know we've also done some crazy things like take the Pro 2 and Pro 4 trucks to Lime Rock Park, another road course that doesn't have any lights. And the trucks don't have any lights either. So it was all going on kind of intuition and just a little bit of ambient lighting that you have from the stands or things like that. The whole track isn't lit, so you had to figure out your way around that thing. So it was kind of fun in that aspect. But here it's fully lit here at Daytona, and the man leading the way still is Jason Christman, Justin Spengler in second. Michael Casey, Matthew Jordan, and Daniel Cardoza for your top five. But Bradley Worley leading the field right now. One lap down, trying to get that de facto wave around if a caution were to come out. And at the very least, he's helping all these drivers behind him save a little bit of fuel, as maybe getting a little bit closer to that window right now. Still probably about 8 laps away from the hopefully first attempt at a green flag pit stop. But I want to thank everyone out there again for tuning in here today. It's even hard for me to even say that. I'm so used to saying tonight, as it's been a good one here so far. Just really a couple incidents that happened earlier on. If you're just joining in, Chris Perry early on made a quick move to the outside as there was a slower car in front of him, ended up tagging the wall, lost the draft, and that's why he's back. He was 2 laps down, now back to 1 lap down after getting the lucky dog, because the first caution that came out was an incident between the 14 and 17 getting together and bringing out our first caution. But also we had Bradley Worley, the one that is leading the field right now, was our one and only so far casualty for blowing up the engine, getting that car too hot for pushing the car in front of him. So we'll see if we can get all drivers back on the lead lap at some point here tonight. But it's been a good one here so far. I mean, sometimes you look at the size of the field and you're like, yeah, it's only 16 cars out there. Would we have liked to see 30, 40? Sure, but you got a lot more chances of incidents happening, and a lot more chances of caution after caution after caution, which I'm sure are 2 drivers down a lap wouldn't mind that right now.
Yeah, I'm sure they wouldn't mind that at all, having a caution or two to kind of get them back on the lead lap. And it's a long race. Obviously, right now they're both 1 lap down. And Perry's in a position to get his lap back. But Bradley Worley is 1 lap down, and he'll still be 1 lap down. Unless he stays out, but and everybody comes in, and then he gets the wave around, but then you're on the tail end of the lead lap, and then you got to pit for fuel, and then you find yourself going 1 lap down again. So he's just in a bad position, and would really enjoy a caution right now, at least allow him to get, let Chris Perry get back on the lead lap, and then let Bradley Worley at least come to the back of the field, and then come in for the pits, and then hopefully something will go his way, or maybe he can work his way around the hard way and get back to the front. I mean, that can happen too. There's a lot of different strategies, but Bradley Worley's definitely in a bad position here early on, as we're on lap 67 of 200 with Jason Christman, your leader, and in the draft, so save and fuel.
Yeah, certainly doesn't mind Bradley Worley leading right now.
2 wide back here with the 17 and the 14. Brandon Sox and Daniel Cardoza racing it out here, and just see how this kind of pans out, Carl. Kind of single car, using that side draft.
Well,
about it here early.
These are the 2 that got together before and caused our only caution here tonight, as the 17 drifted down, the 14 drifted up. And, we mentioned these cars are pretty planted to the track when it comes to getting in the corners, but they still can float a little bit. They still can drift a little bit through the corners. Now,
come on, boy.
Maybe looking at 3 wide, as we're getting tantalizingly close to the pit stop window here. So maybe drivers trying to get in a better position for when they come into the pits. Maybe these drivers have some extra fuel, and they're planning on going a lap or 2 more, so they want to get out of line to avoid other cars coming into the pits. We're going to see it here probably in the next few laps, as looks like the field is also catching up to lap car of the 64, Paul Helms, as he was unfortunately shaken free of the draft earlier on as well. And he is your last car on the lead lap, but he is not too far in front of this pack right now.
Yeah, with him now going 2 wide and coming up on a lap car, it does make things a little more interesting. It could, depending on how well they can manage to get around him. A lot of times when we see when the field come up on a lap car, that's usually when a caution can and does happen. And you can see the 17 there just losing some momentum here early on as the inside line, and I was right on top of the car. He's like wiggling there a little bit. I'm not quite sure what that was about. I know what it's about. He's got the 14 up his bumper trying to push him.
It's an unwarranted wiggle is what it was. And yeah, you could push on the straightaways here. You can push in the corners. It is not suggested. And yep, here it is. Yay! The dive down into pit lane. Bradley Worley leading them. And the big thing here is get in there quick. Get in there with your de facto teammates, but do not get a black flag. And it looks like everyone in this grouping is okay. They did not get a black flag, but the 2 that we mentioned moved to that outside lane. They did not come in this time, and it looks like they are maybe going to be pitting together probably next time by, but there we go. First green flag pit stops here happening about a third of the way through this race. You see the 2 leaders now coming up on Paul Helms. Now for Helms, you got to think, you probably got to come into the pits here as well, and yeah, he is coming in with him. The 17 dives in, the 14 and now the 14 loses it. Impact into the wall, but it's down way off the racing line, so no caution is going to come out there. But this is not a big help for the leader, Brandon Sox. He's got to hope that Paul Helms can get in and out quickly here to join him, or he's going to be left by himself with no draft. Meanwhile, Tony Brennan and Terry Jansen Two cars that have yet to come in to make their pit stops going to go around another lap here. They got Chris Perry right there in the mix as well. So maybe a little extension here on the pit cycle, and we'll probably see them come in this next time by.
Yeah, it's gonna see what's going on here. So the leaders are gone by now, and the 14 just now coming out of the pits. Tony Brennan back out front here with Chris Perry behind him, and Terry Jensen at the moment.
Yeah, you see right there, Paul Helms too far back, so Brandon Sox is gonna be technically your leader. Terry locks it up, but another one loses it into pit lane. And luckily for both the cars that lost it going into pit lane, it ended up not being a black flag as dips the tire into the grass there, but looks like it'll be okay. But Brandon Sox, even though he didn't have a teammate to come in with him, is your leader. He's got one extra lap of fuel compared to everybody else, and the field yet to catch him, but the freight trains are coming.
Our freight trains are coming. He's in a good spot. I hold the yellow line, make him go around me.
That's exactly what they're going to do right now.
Oh, hold on, boys. You guys need to talk. Don't get excited. You see the 17 going to go up and grab that draft. It's going to bust them up a little bit, and that's going to help the 17 stay with this group. So good move by the 17. And you wonder why somebody would do that, and that's exactly why. You stay down there at that yellow line. You force the draft to go around you. It breaks their draft. You can see the confusion by the drivers of Spangler, Crispin, Bierman, Rakes, and Casey. As a 17, they weren't quite sure what he was going to do, but he floated up a little bit, and they're even broke up the draft even more. So that's a kind of, the drivers need to be aware that the 17 did what he needs to do. And I don't know Brandon very well, but looking at his iRating, he's been around for a while. He's got over a 5K iRating, so I'm sure he knows exactly what to do, and I totally agree with what just happened there, so he can stay on that lead draft. See the 31 there of Dale Gardner Jr. Going to the high side, and he's going to end up falling back there. Looks like he's going to, got a few drivers a lap down now, Carl, so we're going to have a battle, a race within a race here. Aaron Gerwitz there in Pete, number 7, right behind, who's that? Bradley Worley. Yep, Bradley Worley, and then you got the 23 of Scott Jordan back here, and Daniel Cardoza, number 14, by himself. Scott Henderson by himself. Tony Brennan back here does have the 34 Chris Perry behind him, so he's in a little bit of shape than those ones by themselves. Terry Jensen Jr. Kind of in the middle there, kind of on the tail end of the lead. I think that's the first lap or first pack. Is that the yeah, so he's on the tail end there of the first pack. Then Dale Gardner Jr. out there. So drivers having some issues with them green flag pit stops, Carl.
That's why you love him so much, Jimmy.
I do, yeah. And it mixes it up. I mean, it's part of the, I mean, anybody can get out here at Daytona and stay in the pack, run up front, use the draft.
Go faster,
make
left.
smart decision and go fast and go left, right? But can you go fast and enter that pit? And their speeds are high here, and you can see how close the racing is. And even back here behind Bradley Worley as they work their way around Dale Gardner Jr., you know, the 9 made the move, but the 23 of Scruffy, he wasn't quite sure what the 9 was going to do. They almost got together trying to get around. So, anyways, back up front here with Justice Spangler, the leader, and that number 28. So, you know, new leader here, obviously, coming up on that halfway mark. Yeah, Bunny Hud's over on the other side. Yeah, we're at 77 laps of 200. Good race so far. I'm not quite sure when everybody needs to take a potty break. But I don't know, like I said, and how that's going to happen. If they're just going to try to enforce everybody stopping on the pits, or are they going to make out on the track, or, you know, if it was a gentleman's agreement, or are they going to call caution? Because it's not like they could call a red flag, you know. So they do need everybody to kind of agree You know, somebody's like, I ain't doing that. I'm going to sit here because I could drive this whole race by, a 200 laps straight without taking a potty break. So these drivers be tortured like I torture my kids. I want to go on long trips. A lot of times I like to drive like a full tank of gas. And with some of the cars these days, that's like 400 and some miles in a car. That's not going 200 miles an hour.
Well, speaking of driving and speaking of Florida, I was just mentioning to a story to my wife and Barry out there last night as we were on our way back from a concert that we went to, and I mentioned heading down to Florida a couple times. It's about an 18-hour drive from where I live right now to where I had relatives down there in Florida, just below Tampa. And I get down to Tampa, and I'm sure you know as well, Jimmy. It's like an 18-lane highway. At one point there going through Tampa and
Atlanta.
I'm about 15 hours into the drive at that point. I don't want to stop. I don't want to take a rest. I'm by myself, so I got nobody else to jump over there. But it's not fun being on again an 18-lane friggin' highway when my head's bobbing up and down because I'm falling asleep. So a couple smacks in the face, turn the AC, crank that up, and open the window, do whatever you gotta do. But you get into that groove, and you get to the point where I'm like, I'm already 90% of the way through this thing. I don't want to stop now. I just want to keep going and get this thing done with.
The new modern cars like mine, I know it has when I have cruise control on, it has lane assist, and it has when you're in cruise control, the radar is on basically. So the car will slow down when a car slows down in front of you, and the car is keeping you in the lane by itself. And even if the traffic stops, the car stops, and then when it rolls again, it rolls again. So, I use this feature. It was a few years ago now. My aunt passed away, and I got off of work after getting a phone call to head back home to see my aunt before she passed away. And I was gonna leave in the morning, and I decided to leave that evening. And it was probably the longest drive and longest day that anybody could really kind of do, and it was about 18 hours from around the Pensacola side of Florida, the Panhandle, and to drive straight up to the northeast part of PA. And the last couple hours, I don't quite remember. So the car, I'm sure, did a lot of the work. I know I wasn't sleeping, but I don't remember. I'm just in that fog.
Yes.
Because I got to around Bristol, Tennessee, which is Bristol, Tennessee, Virginia area, where it was. That's the halfway mark, and I remember getting there, and I was gonna stop, and I pulled off to find the hotel, and I think I seen the sign that there was 10 miles down the road. I was like, I'm not going that far out of the way. And I just got back I figured I'd just go up the highway and find something where our hotel was right off the road. And I think at that point I just said the heck with it, and I just decided to drive the rest of the way. Showed up in the morning, like 10 o'clock I think it was 10 o'clock in the morning at my mom's house, and she's like, what are you doing here? It's I kind of drove straight through. So we ended up going up there. I didn't even go to sleep. I went over for a few hours, and then went back to my mom's house, and I was so tired. I was so tired to the point where you could feel it in your body. Because I think at that point I was up closing in on 38 hours or something like that. It was a long time, and I was done. I was starting to feel sick. So, a lot of these drivers are, that do these endurance events. So I know what it's like to put your body to the test. And it's not like you're physically working, but to keep yourself up for that amount of time is obviously not healthy. And don't ever recommend. I know some streamers, when they're out there, they'll do these races.
Got a little close right there.
Yeah, that break's coming up. Is there a halfway pot or something that I don't know
Not that
about?
I know of, unless it was a late addition or something like that. But yeah, everybody's getting a little
The
racy.
halfway potty pot.
We're still plenty of laps away from that halfway, even if there was a halfway pot. But
I mean, 16. I mean, if you're in the back, you might want to start making your way forward. At least finding out what your car is going to do. Wake yourself up here, guys.
well, I think that
Sleep at the wheel.
that 88 is right there, and I think Worley's trying to get himself back to the front here. I mean, since the pit stops, he's again gone down 2 laps, so he needs to get to the front of this field to get back to 1 lap down. But yeah, definitely a little bit racy out here right now, as we got a few more cars a lap down, having the rough pit stops. You know, Tony Brennan was off pace and kind of in between there, so he is now down 1 lap after the pit stops. Dale Garner Jr., Terry Jansen, and Paul Helms are all 1 lap down as well. And yeah, I think that the toughest drive that I've done is from my house to Miami. I had to go down to inspect the site, and it was a 22-hour drive. I think the GPS said like 25 hours, so just dust your shoulders off. I got to knock 3 hours off this thing and drive straight through. But yeah, I mean, you get to those points where you stop for fuel and you get the old man groan getting out of the car and stretching your legs and everything like that. But when you're in a regular car, you still have some comfort in there. You still can move around a little bit. You can shift around a little bit. You can take your shoes off. You can do whatever to get yourself a little bit more comfortable. When you're in a sim rig like this, you have a little bit of creature comfort that you can do some things and stuff like that. But like drivers in the actual cars, the form-fitted seats that you're not moving around at all. Like you're stuffed in there, you're strapped in there, you're not moving. The only thing that's moving is your arms and hands steering that wheel and your feet. But your body is what it is. It's there. It's planted. It's not moving for good reasons. But when you're sitting in there for 2, 3, 4 hours sometimes, depending on how many stints these drivers are doing in endurance races, or even right here in NASCAR races, they're sometimes in there for 4, almost 5 hours, depending on how long the race is. It's got to just be jarring, and that's why you see sometimes even Formula 1 races a lot shorter, but it's such a tax on the body, and especially when you go to places that have hot temperatures, they get out and damn near collapse. And these are top athletes. It's not myself or Jimmy getting out there and doing it. I mean, these guys work out a little bit. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, the workout days are behind me. When I retired from the military, no more running at least 3 times a week, most of the time 5 times a week, for at least 1.5 miles at a minimum. So, yeah, that's all behind me. I got a car if I need to go that far, or if I have to go back to manual, I got a bicycle. There's many different ways. We had a food truck show up in the neighborhood last night. It was last night, the night before. There's a barbecue. Some barbecue, but like the kids were out, but they're all on these electric bicycles. Like, I was like, where's the fun in that?
Yeah.
I mean, but it just takes away the little bit of exercise that you get. It's not like, we're riding around hills around here in flat Florida. So
yeah, exactly. That got a little spicy. As a 17 making some moves here. Trying to work his way to the front, under the 14, out of the outside of the 65, and yeah, it's getting a little racy here. I know you mentioned iRating. He's been around a little bit. He's making some aggressive moves earlier on here in this race. Just coming up on the halfway point here very soon, and we'll get to step away here and let the drivers get their little break, and we'll get our little break, and we'll let everybody out there in Sierra Nation get a little break as well, get you some food, some snacks. But to give us a little explanation on how the halfway pit stop literally is going to be for everybody out there. We got Daniel Pinkston here, man behind the race here. First of all, Daniel, before we get into that, want to thank you for putting this on, not just for the drivers, for everyone out there in Sierra Nation, but obviously letting us bring this to the fans out there as well here at CRN. So Yeah, I mean, how do you think it's gone so far from your side? Certainly from the race control side, not much you guys are really having to do right now.
Yeah, no, they're doing a pretty good job in my opinion. Just one or two incidents, like you guys are saying in the broadcast, they are starting to get a little racy. I am kind of curious if maybe a gentleman's bet for the halfway mark. But yeah, the way this caution will work. So as the leaders cross the line on lap 100, we're going to start to bring the speed down, and once they get to the backstretch, they're just below the yellow line, kind of cant the car, park it, in running order. We're going to start their 5-minute timer for them to use the restroom, top off the drinks, kick the baby, kiss the dog, or maybe I have that backwards. Do what they need to do in that 5 minutes, and then once the timer's up, we'll get them back rolling. Once we have them rolling, we will throw a actual caution flag. Pace car will enter the track, so that way they can make a normal pit cycle. I've done the event once before, and throwing the actual caution process, it ends up throwing iRacing off by having everybody a bunch of laps down because the pace car is still running around the track.
Correct.
So
Yep.
this is the fix for that to hopefully avoid it. But I'm sure we'll still have some.
Of course.
Guys
Yeah, of course.
are
There's always
doing
something.
a
iRacing will always throw their curveballs in there one way or another. But yeah, it makes sense for sure. Now, I assume since the caution is going to come out, the typical procedures as far as the cars that are lapped down at the break, there's not going to be anybody getting any kind of laps back. But then once the caution comes out, you'll have the lucky dog and or wave arounds.
So once the actual caution flies, anybody that is a lap down at this point, or I see the most we have is 2 laps down. I'm going to give them the option to get the laps back, in the sake of sportsmanship and keeping it interesting. We'll try and get everybody back to the lead lap without extending the caution. We will not extend the caution. If they only get 1 lap back, they only get 1 lap back. But if they can sneak both laps in, they'll line up at the tail of the field, like you normally would.
Now, will they be able to come into the pits and have their black flags cleared by taking those wave rounds as well? Okay. So you may want to get on the horn and let Bradley Worley know that, because he's been trying to get to the front as much as possible here to do it the hard way.
For sure, yes.
All right, buddy. Well, we'll let you get back to it here as we near that halfway point. But yeah, once again, I want to thank you for letting us put this thing on and putting this thing on for the drivers. Before we go and let you get out of here, who do you want to give any kind of shout outs to or thanks to?
Big shout out to the drivers that were able to make it, the sponsors, Kim's Cup and more, Gordon Family Racing, AdminBoxx, you guys for race comms is coming up, but yeah, just big thanks to absolutely everybody.
Well, it's been fun here so far. Hopefully the second half doesn't disappoint, just like the first half did. I'll let you go up there and let you and your son handle this halfway point. That is Daniel Pinkston, as again he's the man here behind the Racing Line, getting this Racing Line at Daytona 500 together, and we are getting close to that halfway point, about 5 laps before everyone can go potty and get a drink, get a snack, get ready for the second 100 laps of this thing, as Jimmy, in my opinion, so far so good. I mean, we started with 16 cars. We still have 16 cars out there. Some of them, like Bradley Worley, multiple laps down, but trying to get their laps back the hard way here. But you heard everyone is going to be able to at least attempt to get back on the lead lap.
Get your laps back. Because it can take a little bit of time to get around here, obviously.
Well, it'll be after they have the caution, so they'll have their 5-minute potty break,
okay.
and then the caution will come out. That's when they'll get the laps back.
You know, it's yeah. At least they want to be within that one. That the ones that are 1 lap down, they should be good. They need to hustle.
Yeah, and you heard Daniel. Not sure if they have a gentleman's bet for who's going to be leading at the halfway, but it looks like the 17 of Brandon Sox. Late addition here. He was literally joined the session right at the end of practice. I mean, it's Daytona. You don't necessarily need to practice unless it's a custom setup or something like that. And certainly with the iRating that he has, I'm sure he's run multiple laps here at Daytona. But late addition to the roster here, leading currently. He's got the 14 right behind him of Cardoza, but the Cardoza is 1 lap down. Lap car right there, and then on the outside, Justin Spengler in the 28, trying to maybe get the lead here, following Bradley Worley, who is currently 1 lap down, but right on the edge of 2 right there, as 2 is what we're going to have at the line here. 2 to go before we have the comp caution here at the midway point.
2 to go here before that comes out and get this thing slowed down so everybody can take a break. We'll let the fans be able to take a break out there as well, as we've got commercial free since we've dropped the green flag here. And the 1 caution flag, some pit road entry incidents. But yeah, we're on lap 99 of 200. So next time around, we will start lap 100. Brandon Sox is your leader, as we talked about. Then Justin Spengler up there, P number 2. Aaron Gerwitz in 3rd. Matthew Scruffy Jordan in 4th. And Jason Christman there in 5th. So just switching out there. Zane Bierman up there as well. Michael Rakes, Michael Casey are your drivers on the lead lap. And you have Daniel Cardoza, Tony Brennan, Dale Garner Jr., and Paul Helms 1 lap down. And Terry Jansen 1 lap down as well. And then Bradley Worley, Chris Perry, your drivers that had early incidents, are now 2 laps down. So those are the 2 that will have to hustle once they get back from the potty break to get around to get back up on the lap when the flag comes back out. So it's going to be interesting here, and yeah, I guess you either follow the rules that apply and everybody stops, or or they could get, I guess, get the disqualified. But you can see them here slowing down. What's going on?
Well, it looks like is this going to be the? I think they're maybe getting it a lap early here, because they're already past the backstretch. And
they're slowing it down before.
Yeah, so we'll see. It looks like I'm trying to see if Brandon really was ahead of the field here, so he should be the 1 lap down, be able to get that back.
Well, they're not. Yeah.
Justin Spengler just stopped on the backstretch here. Yeah, looks like he completely stopped on the backstretch here, so not sure if he's going to get his position back or not.
They don't want to come in the. They do not want to come in the pits.
Well, it looks like nobody told them that. I guess they're parking right there. So, not sure if that's could get troublesome here once they get back going. But it looks like there you go, Justin Spengler catching back up. He'll be able to take his spot back anyway. So this is. As he parks it right in front there perfectly. Well, this is going to be our halfway potty break here, and give everyone out there a chance to stretch your legs, give us a chance to soothe our voices here and get ready for another 100 laps of racing here at Daytona. So we will be back here in just a few moments.
exactly a vehicle that Genesis does for iRacing. So I work on the carpet, selling out here. One of three guys who try to make cars improve relatively. I have three high partners. I'm going to try to get overtime live. So racing software,
You know, what's interesting is the knowledge from racing translates really well into like running. When you're going downhill, super high speed. I mean, it's all the same stuff. It's what's the line, where do I swerve, you know, where I'm looking with my eyes. It's all the same stuff. It's kind of funny because I'm a much better descender than most of my friends, but that's because I've done racing. Anyway, we start to develop that. It didn't take long to realize that racing is really good at problems. It's just so, you know, it's a vast array of problems. From that point forward, 1987 to now, it's just been a process of attacking those problems and trying to make it better. Who knows why I have this passion to keep making it better? I don't know, there's something really cool about being able to learn about an activity that normally you wouldn't be able to do just by using a computer. So, any particular question you want to?
what got you interested? Let's go through that.
You kind of have to go way back to find the roots of this interest, but it was through a game, I wanted to do a simulation game. This is Bert and I had a contact there, and it turned out that they had a producer who was looking to do an 500.
So this is what you knew about it.
Oh, this was like 1986 or 7.
I was watching it,
Right.
I was like, dude.
So anyway, we started developing that. It didn't take long for me to realize that racing simulators are far more interesting than flight simulators. I mean, there's just so much more to them. There's just a vast array of problems. And from that point forward, 1987 to now, it's just been a process of attacking those problems and trying to make it better. Who knows why I have this passion to keep making it better? I don't know, there's something really cool about being able to learn about an activity that normally you wouldn't be able to do just by using a computer.
Don't forget to take a look at our 50/50 Browse tonight. Head on down to Snapchat. After season day, they got your tickets for it. Remember, everything goes to charity tonight, except for what you take home. Don't forget to grab yourself a phone call right now. Thank you.
Well, that's changed a lot in the 5 years that I was so when I started, it was pretty simple. Probably 3 or 4 weeks, 3 cars. And now that's closer to 2 months. You know, the cruise system, maybe, displays, got more sophisticated, like AI. Well, I think we're closer to the next step.
The reality is probably longer than, you know, all the data that they want.
You know, what's interesting is the
Well, the halfway potty break is all done and dusted. These drivers lined up here, ready to get back to racing. Only 15 cars remain. Unfortunately, Bradley Worley had to step out. At least he made it to the halfway point, but certainly wasn't looking good for him to begin with, because on top of everything else, he was down a lap yet. But the drivers decided to vote against letting these other drivers that are lap down get back on the lead lap. So maybe some gamesmanship, maybe some middle fingers to those drivers. I don't know what you want to consider it, but
That's the suck.
yeah, exactly. Only the top 10 left on the lead lap. So 10 cars right now on the lead lap. Right now, Garner is
Majority
your
wins.
first one lap down, but it's time to go back to racing here at Daytona. Half the race is done, but we still got another half yet to go. As we get the green flag here, 96 laps remaining in this race. 17 of Brandon Sox, your leader. Aaron Gerwitz in second. Zane Bierman in third. Michael Casey now up to fourth. Justin Spengler for your top 5. Then you got Michael Riggs, Jason Chrisman, Matthew Jordan, Terry Jansen, and Daniel Cardoza are your 10 cars on the lead lap. You got Tony Brennan, early leader in this race. Paul Helms, Dale Garner, Scott Henderson, and Chris Perry are all 1 lap down. And Jimmy, we got to race within the race now, because we got to race for the lead, and we got to race for the lead of the Lucky Dog.
Yeah, and if I'm Tony Brennan, I'm going to the front. I'm not going to mess around with it too much. I know there's, anything can happen, but you're already over halfway through the race. We've seen 1 caution, because obviously the drivers are trying to be more careful, but now you got half the field, not half the field, a third of the field down. So, the race, who's possibly can win is the odds are higher to those. We want to go ahead and, if I'm Tony Brennan, I'm not chilling. I know there's a lot of laps, but I'm not chilling. I'm going to try to get back to the front, and I'm going to make everybody follow me. And if a caution comes out, then it comes out. I mean, at least obviously you want to be in that lucky dog spot, because if everybody comes in, to take top off on fuel, you'll get the wave around, but you don't get the chance to pit. So that's the option we take, to get the wave around. But I'm battling. So the race within a race, but now like I said, if I'm a lap down, I'm coming to the front.
Yeah, I mean, it's patience is one thing, but at this point, it's in the second half of the race right now. Yeah, there's a lot of time left, but you need to be certain that you're in that right spot if a caution were to come out. The first half, like you mentioned, only 1 caution out there, but that was a time where the drivers were, hopefully at least, it seemed like it were just kind of settling into the race. Now, the second half of the race, again, you don't need to do anything rash, anything crazy. Still going to have 2 more pit stops in the second half of this race, maybe more. Should be 2. Should be 2 pit stops for the rest of this race, all depending on, of course, cautions and everything else. But if it stays green, looking like 2 more cautions. But you have to be assured that you're in that lucky dog position if the caution were to come out. And you got to imagine, once it gets down towards the end of this race and the drivers start getting a little more racy, you could see some cautions. And you want to be out in front of any potential cautions. And you see Terry Jansen now, big run on the outside in that 0-0, as he's going to close to Tony Brennan and just sneaking down in front of him. As not sure you could have fit a piece of paper in there, let alone anything else. But yeah, maybe it's starting to get a little racy a little early here, as these drivers are definitely mixing it up right now. Tony Brennan in the middle of the pack right now, but he is in that lucky dog position. So that's really, again, the race within the race. It's almost like we're multi-class racing right now. We got the top 10 leaders are in one class, and then the 1 lap down cars are in the other class, and kind of the 2 groups that you need to keep an eye on right now. But you're Tony Brennan here. Jimmy, I know you like the bottom here at Daytona. I know you like sticking down to that yellow line on the inside. Right now, if you're Tony Brennan, do you want to be down there? Because you are pinned down there right now. You can't get out. If a lap car gets on by you on the outside, there's nothing you can do.
No, and his obviously who he's worried about is Chris Perry. And Chris Perry is about to come alongside him, so he's in danger. Like if a caution were to come out, now they're getting up there, being a little more racy. Now he's side by side with who is there.
Yep.
Down.
Yeah, Chris Perry.
Yeah.
Chris Perry's right alongside him, and he's got the 72 right behind him as well.
Yeah, so has their hands full here.
Once again, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here today to the Racing Line Daytona 500, as it's been a good one here, and we still got 90 laps remaining in this race. It's probably about twice as long as a lot of these drivers will typically do for their league racing, as 14 and 00 looks like they're trying to work together bumping, but you don't want to bump on the side at all. Bumping through the corner, again, you can do that, but at 14 doing a lot of pushing, gotta watch those engine temperatures, Jimmy.
Definitely have to watch them engine temperatures. It's kind of we've seen cars blow, and that's when we've had the issues. So yeah, I mean, either way, I think we're gonna have a good one here as we wind this thing down in the second half. 95 laps to go, plenty of racing. More than 95 laps is still more than most races we've broadcast here. Usually they're right around the like no more than like 80. So it is still a long amount of time.
I want to thank our sponsors here for the race tonight as well. AdminBoxx, Kim's Kups and More, Jordan Family Racing. Obviously, the Racing Line is the one putting it on here, and then 191 Motorsports. Not only a sponsor, but plenty of drivers here from 191 out in action. So we're going to see a lot of these drivers right back at it tomorrow night, Jimmy, as the 191 Motorsports is going to be back in action here. And trying to get the schedule up here real quick, because I didn't even have a chance to make the flyer for this week. But coming up tomorrow is going to be the start of their last 3 races of the season. They're going to be heading to Iowa for 125 laps under the lights. So definitely looking forward to that one. Iowa, some pretty good racing, a tight little, we'll call it a short track. I'll concede and say Iowa is a bit of a short track. It'll be a fun one there for 125 laps tomorrow night. Then on Monday nights, again, Hold Your Brakes Academy. They are going to have a race, not going to be broadcast. They're going to have basically duels at Martinsville. Luckily, we don't have to worry about Martinsville. They're going to be doing it preseason here, but it's going to set the front row for the start of their season. So we'll see who's going to get the pole and the outside pole tomorrow night. But we've got a caution here on the front stretch, or at least we will. I'm not sure if it's come out just yet, but a couple of cars involved in this one, and indeed the yellow flag is going to come out. I seen, looked like Tracy Justin Spangler was the one that was sent through pit lane. Of course, I'm sure black flag will get cleared out here, but we'll take a look here and see what brought this one out. Chris Perry coming down to the bottom, but just gets into the back corner of Scott Henderson. Sends a 72 around. Spangler in the 28, nowhere to go, as he's going to take a little trip through the grass. A little nudge there to the 72, as Spangler's going to end up having to go through the exit there of pit lane, but he gets the black flag cleared at that. Paul Helms just sitting back there watching this whole thing. We'll take a look at this one here again from Paul Helms' point of view, and he gets to watch pretty much this entire thing transpire right in front of him. And a good job just wallowing up, checking up. And luckily nobody behind him as well. Certainly helps as well. So that's going to bring us under a caution now. Jimmy, do you come into the pits here? It's yes. A certainly interesting time. Tony Brennan didn't mind this caution at all, as he is in that lucky dog spot. He will get the lap back here. So now you got 4 cars involved in the lucky dog race, as you got Chris Perry, Dale Gardner Jr., Paul Helms, and Scott Henderson for your remaining 4 one lap down. But early caution here in the second half is going to allow Brennan to get his lap back. Scott Henderson was battling, but
yeah, if I'm on the
he's
lead
at the
lap,
back.
yes. I mean, I'm coming in one to top off on fuel, so it's just one less thing. I don't have to try to manage and you know, with the fuel thing, especially with your leaders. Obviously, you should know who's on the lead lap with you. That would allow. I would also allow the drivers one lap down to be able to kind of get caught up.
Well, yeah, I mean, if all the leaders come into the pits,
out.
all the drivers one lap down can't get back on the lead lap. So if you're a lead lap car, do you maybe sacrifice yourself and keep those guys a lap down? I guess no. I guess the answer is no. I guess they were dicks enough at the halfway point and said, no, you're going to stay a lap down. Well, now they're,
that's why there's a caution.
Yeah, now they're going to be nice and they're going to let them get back on the lead lap, as it looks like Zane Mirren misses pit stop there a little bit. But yeah, I mean, if you're on the lead lap, I think I agree. It's kind of a no-brainer to come in, because worst case scenario, if you're the only car that comes in, okay, I'm still back out there, I'm in the field, and I got more fuel than anybody else, so I can decide to come in with whoever I want to come in, or I can get up to the front and lead the way and wait till everybody else has to come into the pits. But it looks like everybody on the lead lap comes in. Brandon Sock's going to be your leader. Michael Rakes now up to second. Daniel Cordoza, Jason Crispin, Michael Casey for your top 5. Then you got Jordan Gerwitz, Jansen, Bierman, and Spengler for your top 10. But Tony Brennan gets the wave around, or the lucky dog, so he'll be able to come into the pits. The rest of them, being Garner Jr., Helms, Henderson, are going to be able to get the wave around, but they will not be able to come into the pits. So they're going to have to kind of run their own race and maybe hope for another caution to come out at some point so they can get back onto the same pit strategies as everybody else, because they're going to have to pit a little bit differently than the rest of the field. But at least they're back on the lead lap. That's, you know, kind of check mark number 1. But it looks like Scott Henderson.
Those 3 are each other. Yeah, those 3 people are they're now best friends for a while.
Well, I'm seeing Scott Henderson and Chris Perry not on the lead. Looks like Chris Perry came into the pits, but Scott Henderson looks like he may have come into the pits as well. May have to come into the pits to repair some damage. So he is still going to be a lap down, as is Chris Perry.
Yeah.
So,
but they're only 1 lap down.
Yeah, so we do have a lucky dog battle here once again between at least 2 cars.
Yep. And then obviously, if I'm Scott Henderson or Chris Perry, yeah, I'm going to try to work my way up to the front. Or at least stay in front of, you know, with only 2 of them, it's you know, much easier to kind of be in that spot. And, you know, these drivers that have come in and topped off on fuel here, even, you know, maybe for a second time, you know, making sure. I don't think they can go 43 lap. I don't think we'll see.
No. I mean, 38 was their window. So even if you're doing extreme saving, maybe you get an extra 2 laps out of that. I don't think you're getting that many more to get you to close. I mean, I guess if you can get 41-ish. But, I mean, right now, you've already been out there for a lap or 2 under this caution. So maybe some more cautions could get you there. But if you have more cautions, you're going to come in the pits anyway. So
yeah, it's going to throw it all out the lunch. But if it were to go green the rest of the way, you know, if somebody could save. But, you know, we're looking at possible fuel run here.
Well, getting back to the schedule, as I mentioned, tomorrow night, 191, going to be heading to Iowa. Monday, as mentioned, Hold Your Brakes Academy going to have their preseason event, which is going to set the front row for their opening race. On Tuesday night, the Core Xfinity Series is going to be heading to the desert at Phoenix for one of their last few races of the season, as they're down to the last 2. They got Phoenix and then Homestead for the season finale. On Wednesday night, CSRL going to have a couple weeks off before they kick off another season with multi-class racing this time. But Pit Road Speed Limit going to be back in action, as they are going to be at Talladega doing a little bit of super speeder racing themselves, and it's going to be the final race of the regular season for Pit Road Speed Limit Racing as well. So we're going to see who the final 12, the playoff drivers, are going to be. And then on Thursday night, Virtual Velocity Racing, if I can click on There we go. Virtual Velocity Racing is going to be at Phoenix Raceway as well. But speaking of racing, we're back to racing here at Daytona. The 16 in, I'm sorry, actually not the 16. There we go. Yeah, the 16 in the lead. Michael Rakes out front right now. And again, still a lot of racing yet to go, and still nowhere near the point where you need to get any kind of racy, especially for the guys that just got back on the lead lap. I would think maybe now's the time to just relax a little bit. Maybe that's why you see the 65 and the 31 on the outside just running their own race. Maybe they're going to want to charge to the front of the field, but I think I'd just be happy to be back on the lead lap and mess everything up by doing so. But we'll see. We'll see if they decide to charge through the field.
Yeah, we'll see who's going to charge through the field here, but the 16 of Michael Rakes is going to be here for a little while. Jason Chrisman still up there, and you can see Daniel Cardoza and then number 14 making his way there. P number 3, Scruffy hiding out there in P number 4. Michael Casey still hanging out there. Still low. Stay early on, mid on. That Aaron Gerwitz there in P number 6. Terry Jansen, though, having a good run, staying kind of out of trouble. I mean, besides having that issue coming into pits, was able to make up for that with the bathroom caution.
Yeah, the potty break, the midway potty break.
Potty break.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of times I was in race and wish we had one of those. But either way, we got a battle for third place now, as well as it looks like the 23 of Cardoza looking to go to the outside, but now going to fall back in line behind the that is it lap car? No, the 14 is that was the 23 of Scruffy Jordan on the outside, looking to make his moves. But I mean, again, a few cautions out here tonight, but we're not at the point where we need to get to racing yet. But I guess don't tell these drivers they want to start mixing up here a little bit. Yeah, 3 wide on the outside as we got the 9 of Gerwitz on the inside, Jansen in the middle, and Bierman on the outside. No, but yeah, Terry's going to slide in line, but now right behind him, now you got Tony Brennan going up through the middle of this field.
Yeah, that race within the race here with the lap cars is for that lucky dog position, put them in a better position. Oh, they got some tapping here. They go 3 wide in the back. Woo, that was very close there by the 17 and the 64.
The 17 is going to get shuffled to the back of the field for the time being. He was your leader a little bit earlier on in this race. Chris Perry falling back here a little bit, and I got to talk to him a little bit just on the side during the potty break, and saying that not exactly having the greatest race out here, and I got involved in a few mix-ups, and talking about the incident early on where he had a head of steam and came up on the car and didn't really have any kind of time to react, and tried to go to the outside to avoid it, got into the wall, and has been kind of chasing his way to get back on the lead lap ever since, unfortunately. But right now, we are 121 laps into this race. And Jimmy, I think it's about time we give everyone out there in Sierra Nation a little love to hear it.
Yeah, a little love to hear it.
Sights and sounds here for the Racing Line at Daytona 500 as we are under caution. As you see it right there, a big incident there as Justice Spengler gets sent to the outside wall. We'll take a look back here and see what happened to bring out this latest caution, but a heavy impact there for the 28 and let's see.
That's a checkup. Like somebody checked up and it kind of accordioned back.
Yeah, some cars dodging back and forth down on the apron. Tony Brennan and you see right there the 28 gets sent up into the wall, and trying to see who else that was that got involved. Justice Spengler was one of them. And trying to see who else that was up there. Was it the 64 possibly of Paul Helms? We'll speed this up here. As Helms went to the outside and almost missed everything here, but just gets clipped there by the 28, and then Scruffy ends up finishing him off right there at the end. But it's going to bring us under another caution here, and kind of an interesting time, Jimmy, because they're still going to need a pit stop here to go, but you got to come into the pits here. Justice Spengler certainly has to, because he has a meatball. So he needs to get that thing fast repaired, and not sure he can get that thing going. Looks like he's got a push truck behind him. This isn't sprint car racing, but he's got a push truck behind him.
Hey, I mean, somewhere. Get him down in there so you don't have to tow and wait that time, I guess. I think the time it takes the tow to go away, it would have been shorter. So, yeah, somebody's going to come in down and do the man a favor.
Yeah, it looks like it's Garner Jr. that is pushing the 28 down into to pit lane. So it's a little teammate action right there. The 64 going to come in behind. Either way, they're going to get their service done before they need to rejoin him before the pace car goes by. But Chris Perry didn't mind this caution at all, as he is going to get the lucky dog here to get back onto the lead lap. So it's going to leave 2 on the 1 lap down. Scott Henderson, Justice Spengler, both involved in, or Spengler was involved in the incident. Henderson was not, but both of them are 1 lap down. The other 13 on the lead lap. Looks like Jason Chrisman is going to get out in the lead at this time. Gerwitz, Casey, Cardoza, and Rakes for your top 5. Then you got Sox, Bierman, Brennan, Jansen, and Helms. So one thing we were tasked to do, and we'll just make sure that so we can get a camera view that's not looking at the back of the stands. Let's try and go to this one. There we go. So it looks like the 28 is all repaired, and he is one of our choices for the best paint scheme of the night. But now, even though we were to decide the best paint scheme, we wouldn't be anything without the fans out there. So we want to give you the final say here tonight to decide the best paint scheme. We've narrowed it down to 2 for everyone out there. You're looking right here at Justin Spengler as one of the paint schemes. And then the other paint scheme that we chose is going to be the 00 of Terry Jansen out there. So we will we'll keep them on the screen. I'll flip back and forth here as I get the poll up, but definitely the ones that kind of spoke out to us. Certainly, the little message on the front helped for Terry, but just I think a nice clean paint scheme for Terry Jansen out there. And as I mentioned, Jimmy, when we were trying to decide best paint schemes, I'm a sucker for white paint schemes, and certainly Justice Spengler, kind of, you look at the entire field, he sticks out because he is the only light colored paint scheme, let alone white. So it's easy to pick him out in the crowd. So again, we'll flip back and forth here, and I'll get the poll up here in a moment.
Yeah, Carl likes white paint schemes so much it's kind of pushed when I'm when they're painting a team paint scheme to make sure there's an ample amount of white on the car. So he's like, oh, I really like that. Gotta get the man's approval.
All right, there we go. The poll is up there for everyone out there watching here tonight. Vote on who you think has the best paint scheme. Again, right here, you're looking at the number 28 of Justin Spengler and the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, number 28. And then look at the 00 of Terry Jansen and the Core Racing number 00 here, the Buckshot, as he is your other paint scheme that you can vote on for the best paint scheme here tonight. And I believe he has, I'm not sure, but I think it's the same message there on the back quarter panel as well. But best paint scheme is one thing that these drivers are racing for here tonight, but certainly they want to get in that top 5. They want to claim one of those prizes at the top. Of course, they want to win, but to finish first, you must first finish. As I mentioned down there on the bottom, you definitely need to get to the end of this thing. And we're in the second half right now, and we're about to get another restart here as we are racing again here at Daytona. And it is Jason Chrisman in the lead as he stretches out there. Mike Casey now in second. You got the 16 of Michael Rakes moving up there in third. Now the 9's going to drop down from the outside. And we'll see if these drivers want to settle in here and just cruise for a little bit, because we're still going to look at one more pit stop here unless we get an early caution. So, I mean, I don't know, Jimmy, at this point, are you looking to just run this thing out, make sure we get a green flag pit stop here one more time to make you happy, to make you smile a little bit? Or are you looking for another caution here in the next, like, maybe, I don't know, 15 laps to kind of really mix it up for the second half, or the last quarter of this
green
race?
Green flag pit stops all the way. That's all I can ask for. If there's still time for a green flag pit stop. I've only gotten one. I've only had one copy.
He needs his fix.
I need my fix of something here. It is early. You know, the way they're going. I mean, they're still clicking away here pretty quickly. So, race so far. What is my stuff? Well, for some reason, my version is running at half speed. I was like, why are they going so slow? But yeah, no. And looking for my fix here for this race here tonight, but it's this afternoon. But right now, just doing a pretty good job. Just been out front leading this thing over Michael Casey in the mix here again, just trying to stay clean as they work their way around here. 139 laps in, so plenty of time to get at least one more. They are in that window if they can get halfway through here to make it. So they would have to make it probably 65, like 61, like another 20 laps, Carl, I think, and that would put them at 160. So yeah, like 162. They should be able to make it the rest of it. They should be close to making it the rest of the way.
One thing I seen that was kind of interesting, they're riding on board. We got the dashboard up there to show you what kind of speeds they're doing right now. About 191 down the backstretch right now in the draft, 190 through the corners. But you seen a little bit of a checkup right there, riding on board with Terry Jansen, and you seen him actually shifting down to fourth. So not sure, how far in between the gears they are right now. Out there full speed, they're running in fifth gear, but maybe they're kind of right in the middle. And if you need to check up a little bit, driving that gear will help you out. But you definitely don't want to double pump, because you drop down too many gears and forget pushing and blowing your engine. You could easily blow your engine that way by doing a little money shift action here at high speed. But I mean, 193, 194 there, just touching 195 heading into the corner for the 17 Brandon Sox.
Racing's recording some speeds, and sometimes it's out to lunch, but I see 202 the highest. Oh, and we're gonna get wrecked. There you go.
And it looks like both of our cars with the best paint schemes on there are going to get involved in this one.
Somebody mad they didn't get voted. Check out their paint scheme now.
Let's take a look and see what brought this one out. And right there looks like kind of the same deal here. The 23 maybe coming down a little bit. The 00 coming up a little bit. And Jansen tries to save it, but unfortunately comes up. Clips the 23. Chris Perry nowhere to go. Hard impact into the side. And then for Jansen, just kind of turns sideways there and course, we get the worst camera angle ever, but you see he drifts back up there. Tony Brennan involved, Chris Perry involved, and looks like that is the 14 there of Cordoza involved as well. So, I mean, given the size of the field, Jimmy, I would have to say this might be the big one here at Daytona, as we got a couple of cars. Looks like the 14, actually the 65 of Tony Brennan and Justin Spengler,
afternoon.
both having both having some early meatballs.
Meatballs flying here at lap 142. So those drivers will have to get fast repairs taken, and with only a limited amount of fast repairs here, obviously for a long event, plenty of racing still remaining. It's essentially a full race. Still have 58 laps to complete around here, as the drivers will come down for a pit stop. And it's not even like one other pit stop is needed here, so staying out's always like, yeah, I'm just gonna stay out because I'm gonna have to stop again. But if they would have just left Jason Christman out there by himself and then went green the whole way, Jason Christman wouldn't have been a factor anymore because of the fuel thing. He would have had to stop. So kind of, one thing to think about when you're taking these pit stops, and there's a good amount of people that stayed out. But if you're the only one that stays out, then at a super speedway, if they go green, could be in trouble with that.
We still got the length of again what some of these drivers will probably do in in their league races, as we still got 58 laps left in this race. Plenty to go, but I mean, right now your top 5, last pit on lap number 135, the pit on the last caution. The rest of the field pretty much coming in right here on lap number 142. So everyone's still going to need to make one more pit stop. There's no way anyone going to make it to the end here. But, if this thing were to go green the rest of the way, these cars that came in 7 laps later would have to take 7 laps less fuel. And that can be big, for all together in one pack, all drafting together. 7 laps less fuel is going to be a quicker pit stop, and your group should be able to get out in front of the other one and make things happen. So, pretty interesting to see 5 cars deciding to stay out, and that being Jason Christman, Michael Casey, Michael Rakes, Zane Bierman, and Dale Garner Jr. But that's why we're up here in the booth. We just put the races on. We don't do strategy clearly too well sometimes. So we'll see who has the right strategy to get this thing done here. As back to the line, should get the one to go here, and we still got another 57 laps remaining in this race.
I want to know who ordered the truck for the race for the pace car. But, I mean, I know that it's a good-looking pace car, but it should be. Are they set at like certain speeds? Because I have a small memory of putting like a Porsche Pace Cup on with like the little legend cars, and I remember going like,
oh yeah, we were full speed to keep up with that thing. Yeah, it was. It was a little short track or a short road course or something like that.
But tires squealing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that thing was ripping. Well, hopefully this is the last time we see the pace truck here tonight, and then we can get the rest of this race in under green. Because, as mentioned, Jimmy needs his fix. He needs another green flag pit stop sequence under his belt here. I mean, we had 200 laps. We need at least 2. So we'll see what these drivers have in store. But again, your top 10, you got Jason Christman, Michael Casey, Michael Rakes, Zane Bierman, Dale Garner Jr. for your top 5. Then Sox, Helms, Jordan, Perry, and Jansen for your top 10. Tony Brennan, Aaron Gerwitz, and Daniel Cordoza, as well as Scott Henderson, all on the lead lap, with Henderson just catching back out to the field here. Spengler, the only one left 1 lap down, so he wouldn't mind one more caution to get himself back on the lead lap, and we'll have 15 once again. First time in a long time since the beginning of this race that we would have all the drivers out there on the track on the lead lap, but they're doubled up, ready to get this thing back underway. And again, if you haven't done so yet, vote on who you think is got the best paint scheme out there. We got the 28 of Justin Spengler and the 00 of Terry Jansen. We'll show you them here in a second if I can get the camera angles back up here. And there you go. There's the paint scheme here for Justin Spengler and the paint scheme for Terry Jansen. They're both repaired, clean, ready to get back to racing, because that's what we're doing here as we're back to green flag racing at Daytona.
Back to green here at Daytona with 140 or on lap 145. So I think things are starting to they're trying, I think, feel their way around here, Carl. I see a lot more drivers trying to get behind somebody and push. See the 17 obviously pushing, I think that was the Zane Bierman. And he's going to try to come back to the front there. He's obviously using a little bit of side draft, and it's just a Spengler doing, as they called it, Mike Casey was calling the Pocono Shuffle. We didn't get to see much of that the other night as Pit Road Speed Limit Racing had their hands full with a few cautions. I don't know if green flags were was a thing there, to be honest. We only got like maybe 1 or 2 green flag runs, and they weren't like very, not enough for like a pit stop or nothing. So they had their hands full with that tricky triangle with these next gen cars. So they were just finding the car just kind of shifting and getting loose, especially coming out of turn number 2. And as you all know that have watched, CRN and at Pocono a few times, it's only, that 3-corner oval that they have that was really putting a hammer down to them. So, but here tonight or today, it's not even afternoon yet, Jimmy. It's only 11:30 right now in the morning. Some drivers out here trying to get things done and get a taste of victory here to celebrate the rest of their weekend. Maybe moving on to their next race with 191 Motorsports tomorrow, or just enjoy their weekend. Maybe they'll celebrate and won't even have to race. But Jason Crispin out front right now for Michael Riggs, Michael Casey up there in P number 3. Dale Gardner Jr. finds himself after being a lap down in P number 4. Zane Bierman up 11 spots in P number 5. So, yeah, a lot of moving around here. See some of the drivers that start up front, obviously in some trouble. Some laps down here. Justin Spengler being the only car a lap down at the moment. And unfortunately for Bradley Worley, not able to stick and hang out here with us the rest of this morning to finish this race out, but was having a pretty decent run until he got himself in a little bit of trouble going laps down. So, but we are green at lap 148 with David Chrisman as your leader.
Yeah, for everyone that is on normal time, it is afternoon. So happy afternoon to everyone out there, as it is 12:33 Eastern time here. And as mentioned, Jason Chrisman is your leader here right now currently. But we got 14 cars on the lead lap. Justin Spengler only won 1 lap down, and Bradley Worley had to step out right there out about the halfway point, at the halfway potty break. Unfortunately, he had to leave. So I guess it was good timing for the potty break. He could hop out the rig and leave. But it's left us with 15 cars here. 14 on the lead lap, and still in the mix for this thing. Still looking at one more pit stop for the entire field out there. The top 5 will be coming in earlier, about 7 laps earlier, approximately by compared to the rest of the field, because they did not come in on this last caution. So we'll see how this thing all plays out. And for these cars that pit on lap number 142. Are you surprised at all, Jimmy, that they're not willing to pass these top 5 right now and help them save fuel? I know I'm not.
Yeah, so they are in enough fuel save mode, and they need to stick together. They need to be best friends until at least after the pit stop. And because they're going to need each other to stay together and hopefully keep this run together, and hopefully they can have a better pit stop and more organized than the others that be able to stay out a little bit longer. Hopefully people that could stay out a little bit longer have a more chaotic entry because they can't make it the rest of the way. We do have 50 laps to go as we cross that 150 mark. We're in the final 25% of the race here, and before you know it, we'll be down to our final 25. So racers doing a fantastic job out here. Laps are right around the 46-second lap area, but when they do go to caution, it is a little over 2 minutes. So yeah, good one here so far, though. Carl is, you know, as much as sometimes these races can be drawn out, this one here has been green for the most part, and you know, a few breaks here and there, and nothing like a potty break in between. Other kind of busted up just a little bit, but so far not too bad. It's kind of flown by here, as we're at the 151 lap mark.
Yeah, been broadcast now for about 2.5 hours, but I mean, I think the pace of this race has gone by as mentioned. These drivers clicking off lap times in about the high 46-second range, so you know, getting by here pretty quickly. Some dancing and moving around in the back of the field, but your top 12 right now, and actually less than 12. We're all in single file line, but it looks like maybe some cars are just backing up to work on getting a run, because now the 9 of Aaron Genske has the 17 of Brandon Sox pushing him on the outside as they're trying to work their way to the front. And man, some dancing around and some aggressive moves here back and forth as so you're going to fall back in line here once again, but some bumping and moving and shaking for sure. And Jimmy, we're seeing something tonight because these cars are so stable, because the downforce is so great, that we typically don't see in other cars, because it just gets them so upset, and that's pushing the pusher. We haven't really talked about that here tonight, but it looks like it's an option here. It's usually never a great option,
No.
a great idea.
Not a good option.
But we've seen it here a few times.
Yeah, I've seen you know, watching obviously the drivers trying to bump a little bit and, you know, give a shot, and you don't want it to be super close. Like Mike Casey's case, and where he's at, like he has Michael Rakes in front of him. So Michael Rakes probably trying to push Jason Christman as much as possible, but there's really no need. But if Mike Casey were to push Rakes into Crispin, it's like a train, you know. So like you put it just doesn't go right. Usually one of the cars ends up spinning, and it causes a mess. So just gotta be careful, because you really can't see how close you can barely see how close you are to the car in front of you, let alone how far that driver in front of you is to the person in front of them. So that's the whole surprise of needing the draft. But everybody, all the drivers need it here. We do have one driver kind of lonesome here, or no, it's a set of two. The 65 and the 72 are back there by themselves, hanging out.
I mean, they're on the lead lap, and at least they have a drafting partner. But they're going to need a caution to find their way back up to the front of the field for sure. And I know Renee out there probably doesn't like to see Scott all the way back here, regardless of how his scary face looks.
I mean, he does
on the
have ChatGPT on the car. Maybe the AI is driving.
I mean,
today.
It hasn't been a great race for ChatGPT, that's for sure. As Scott Henderson's been involved in a few things, been down a lap. He's back now on the lead lap, and the car is cleaned up, so it's in a good position right now, but not necessarily a good position on the track, being so far behind the field right now as both these drivers in a little draft here, about 15.5 seconds off the back of the pack, and losing time, because even though they're a tandem 2 here, you need 3, 4, 5 other cars really to be able to hold the same kind of pace as the leaders. But again, either way, they're going to need a caution to get back to the field here. The only car 1 lap down, Justin Spengler here on the outside, doesn't necessarily need to run hard at all. There's nobody. Try that again. There's nobody else 1 lap down, so he's going to be in that lucky dog position until they would catch Brennan and Henderson. And at that point, then he'd have to get a little bit racy to make sure that he gets back into the lucky dog position. But right now, again, another car looking to get a lap back if a caution were to come out. But he is one of our drivers for the best paint scheme out there, and looking at what we got out there, looks like he's a fan favorite as well. Again, it's Justin Spengler, which we will we'll bring him up here on the screen a little bit better for everyone here once again. So Justin Spengler in the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline number 28. And then the other car you can vote on for the best paint scheme is the 00 Core Racing Machine for Terry Jansen. we'll close the voting with 20 laps to go. So you got plenty of time to think about it, make a pros and cons list, and do some research, whatever you need to do to make your informed decision, and then we'll announce the winner with 20 laps to go. But we got a little bit of ways till we get there, as we're now starting at lap number 158 of 200. So still got another 43 laps in this race.
43 laps remaining here at Daytona. This is like a kind of what's needed. Me and Carl always talk back and forth about these super speedway races. So it's a lot of like, why would anybody want to race this close for this long? I don't know. Why would anybody want to race a car with a group of people for 24 hours? Well, it's fun. So a lot of these drivers enjoy doing this. Just getting in the car and having that opportunity or the chance to win. And I favor with Carl running the same result, on a 20 lap endurance race, or a 20 lap Daytona race or television. But you don't get that fatigue now setting in, getting kind of losing your focus, after a certain amount of time. And I know what that takes, obviously doing countless endurance events and GT cars and stuff, and staying in the car for hours at a time, 2, 3, 4, even up to 5 hours straight. It does take a toll on, you physically, especially with some of the equipment these days. You can really get tossed around depending on the track, to just staring at the screen for so long, so you get the eye fatigue, and so there's just a lot that goes into it, more than probably some think. But these drivers, it's not all about going out there and just pedal to the metal and turn left here for some of these ovals. But Daytona is just a lot of, I think it's more mental, and whether what to do, where you want to set the car up. Should I get really close? Should I give them a touch here, and should I work this bump trap some? What part of the race are we on? Do I want to be have I tried the outside yet? What the air is gonna feel like out there? So many decisions to make, but we're coming down to where those drivers need to make those decisions here, as we are closing in on the latter half of this race. And yeah, Carl, who's gonna? I know we got usually we got the vote for the paints and stuff, and we do have a lot of drivers still in the lead lap. Everybody but one, so all but Justin Spengler right now has the opportunity to win, to go green the rest of the way. Justin Spengler does need a caution or get out. Well, he needs a caution regardless, whether he's out front or hanging in the back. Justin Spengler needs to at least stay in touch with the draft here to give himself the opportunity if something does happen. But yeah, still have 14 other drivers out there, and who's going to be the winner today?
You'll get it eventually, Jimmy. That it is daytime yet, but
we always broadcast at night, almost 6 days a week.
And the nighttime here at Daytona doesn't make it easier to remember that as well.
In my dark room.
Exactly.
It's the same.
Yep. But either way, it's been a good race out here so far, and it's. Me and Jimmy get scared sometimes when we have to do any kind of Daytona race, any kind of super speedway race, because there's so many drivers that feel like they got an opportunity. It's a track and a car track combination that, as long as you stay within the draft, as long as you keep yourself in it, it doesn't matter if you're a 2,000 I rating or a 2 I rating. It doesn't matter how good you are. You can still factor into the race. You can still factor into the win. As opposed to a track where you're, maybe like a Homestead or something like that, or a Phoenix, where you're braking, you're turning, and it maybe takes a little bit more driver skill. You see that the skill gap a little bit bigger on tracks like that. Here, just about anybody in the field has a chance at winning this thing. Now, are there super speedway specialists that prefer to go to tracks like this? Yes, absolutely. There's ones that know how to work the draft, know how to work that side draft, know the best time to make the move. But at the end of the day, luck is a big thing that comes into play as well. And we've seen, as we've talked ad nauseum about where do you want to be going to the white flag? Do you want to be the leader? Do you want to be the second in line? Do you want to be the inside line, the outside line? We've seen every one of those scenarios play out to a victory here. So at the end of the day, I don't know where I want to be. I'd say, if I had the choice, I probably wouldn't want to be the leader. I'd probably want to be second or third in line, and with the opportunity to move to the outside line to make a run at the end, because I feel like that the leader typically is a sit and duck, but a lot of times the leader is the first one to get away from that incident that happens behind when drivers are starting to make those last couple moves and it's starting to get a little bit racy, and the leader can walk away with the victory there with nobody else to kind of compete, and especially if the caution comes out and he's able to walk it back to the line. But we'll see how it all plays out. Jason Chrisman right now is your leader. Michael Rakes, Michael Casey, Dale Garner Jr., and Zane Bierman for your top 5. Sox, Helms, Gerwitz, Perry, and Jansen for your top 10. And then Jordan, Cardoza, Brennan, and Henderson on the lead lap in the top 14. But that back group there with Henderson and Paul Helms. Or not Paul Helms. It is Henderson and Tony Brennan are starting to slip back further and further. About 33 seconds now behind your leaders. But it looks like another group here, or at least another solo person, of Matthew Jordan has gotten shuffled out of the field. Didn't see what happened there. And then same thing for the 14 of Daniel Cardoza. I think these two need to find a way to hook up together and at least run a little bit, and maybe even eventually get caught up by the 65 and 72, because they can at least make a 4-person pack and try and take a run at this thing. Coming up on pit stops maybe in the next 7-8 laps, and it should be the last pit stops of the race. And hopefully, for Jimmy's sake, it stays green.
Green flag, pit stop, green flag, pit stop, green flag, pit stop.
Oh, and it's not going to stay green. And we're going to have a yellow, and it looked like the 28 of Justin Spengler involved in this one again. I'm not sure if I see any kind of damage on the car from there, but take a look at what happened here. Bump draft and go through the corner. The 28 slips up a little bit, gets sideways, and may have gotten away with this one here. Excuse me, a little bit. In the fact there was just some brushes here and there, and may just be able to get that thing repaired. A little lick and stick on that one.
But he needed to be out of that one.
Yeah, exactly. Because he's not going to get the lucky dog now at this point unless the admins give it to him, because he was the cause of this caution, or at least maybe not the cause, but he was involved in this caution. The 17 of Brandon Sox, a little bit of a bump draft to the left quarter panel coming out of the corner, and again, bumping in the corner, usually not a good thing. You definitely can't bump in the quarter panel through the corner. But it's going to bring us under a caution, and Jimmy, I think we're in the window, unfortunately, to make it to the end.
You're all fine. All 16 of you.
Jimmy was here for 167 laps. He's taking his ball and going home, ladies and gentlemen. He only got to see one green flag pit stop here tonight, and he's not too happy about it. But either way,
We're all fired.
we're going to see what should be the last round of pit stops here tonight, and looks like Justin Spengler is going to come into the pits as well. Not sure if it looks like he won't get a black flag. He's going to be okay to come in this time as well. But everyone into the pits here, and we'll see who comes out first. As it looks like it is going to be Zane Bierman, your new leader at the front, deciding to take just fuel only. And it's one thing we didn't talk about because it's usually not an issue at Daytona, but 5 sets of tires for these drivers for the entire race. So they'll start with a set of tires, and then they have 4 sets of tires in the pits. Tires not really a concern. You're not going to wear out wear out tires and need tires like you would at another track where you're really scrubbing them off. But it does make it a little bit more comfortable going through the corners. It does drive a little bit better with those fresh new tires on it. So, who has tires left? Who was able to take tires there? Who wants to maybe save one set of tires for late in the race if there's another caution, and maybe make sure you have maximum grip to try and work your way back up through the field. Either way, a lot of different strategies on this one. Looks like some fuel only, maybe some 2-tire stops there, and quite a few drivers taking 4 tires. But Zane Bierman is now your new leader. Dale Garner Jr. all the way up to second here in the 31. Michael Rakes in third. Aaron Goretz and Michael Casey for your top 5. Then you got Chrisman, Cardoza, Jordan, Brennan, and Jansen for your top 10. Paul Helms, Scott Henderson, Chris Perry, and Brandon Sox, your 14 cars on the lead lap. It looks like Justin Spengler maybe still in the pits getting some work done here. We'll see if he is able to come back out here and stay 1 lap down. I didn't really see too much damage to the to number 28, and even looking from here, I mean, I'm not seeing too much damage. Looks like some just popped out there on the front right, so maybe more damage than I can see here. But it looks like that car is now fully repaired, or at least 99% repaired, as he's going to come back out on the track. And hopefully it looks good for anyone that is looking to vote for him. Again, Spengler is one of your cars to vote for the best paint scheme of the night. And then the other one being the Buckshot 00 of Terry Jansen. But we're going to double the field back up here. Hopefully Spengler can get that good-looking number 28 caught back up to the field, because they are doubling up here. We're going to go back to racing here this next time by, and we're going to be down to we got 31 laps left in this race.
31 laps. Soon the my thing will say below 25. Sad days though. No more green flag Kups. They can make it the rest of the way. Now, Carl, with this being said, so this is the kind of a good thing, I guess, is that they can now race. They can open it up, and we might see a lot more side by side and drivers. Obviously we do have some more time to go, but they don't have to worry about fuel. They don't have to worry about I need to be down in the inside to make sure I get in there. I need to make sure that I stay with people and have a partner to get to the end. Now that kind of goes out the window. So what's the driver's mindset going to be now? If they can make it the rest of the way, just need to stay in the draft. They still kind of need somebody to work with. It's going to be hard to kind of keep that lead by yourself. So, hopefully you still got some friends around you either going to help you or work with you at least to the point where you're both battling each other to the finish line.
Yeah, I mean, how aggressive do you go, and when do you get aggressive here is the question. I think there's still plenty of time left to go, but you don't have to worry about saving fuel at all. If you want to be the leader, sure, go have at it. You want to be second in line, you want to still save a little bit of fuel in case there's a green-white checkered, you're probably going to come in and take some tires and just top off the fuel anyway. So you don't need to anything you need to worry about fuel-wise, tire-wise. That's gone. That's out the window. If you want to take tires late, if there's a caution, sure, go ahead, but you don't need to. So right now it is just down to getting to the final 10, 5, 3, 2, 1 laps to go, and then working your way to the front and trying to get the win here in the Racing Line Daytona 500. So 2 wide back here in the back half of the top 10. Dale Garner Jr. on the outside line, leading the way. You got the 9 right behind him. Looks like we got a little bit of a blinker there on the inside. Jason Chrisman, I don't know what it is, if it's internet connection or what it is, but Chrisman definitely has some issues at times for 191, and I've seen it once or twice here tonight. But for the most part, the 98 has been holding it in there. But Terry Jansen looked like he got turned there, and we got a couple of cars out in the outside wall, the 31 and the 9. They were leading that outside line earlier, but now it's going to bring us under another caution here with 29 laps to go, and look like the 9 is hurt severely, trying to limp that thing back to pit road, and hopefully he's got a faster pair, and hopefully he doesn't have to wait for next day delivery through Prime there to get it, because he has got a meatball, as does Dale Garner Jr., both of them into pit lane to get some faster pairs if they still have them this late in the race.
Yeah, it's
Let's take a look back here and see what happened here, and might have been the same case, Jimmy. The bumping in the middle of the corners, it's not a good choice, and it looks like the 31 kind of indecisive if he wanted to go to the middle there or not, and hooks the back quarter of the 00. Looks like Scruffy gets a little piece of it there, but the 00 is going to get backed up into the wall. The 9, you see some heavy damage there. 31, the 28 of Justin Spengler, just sneaking by right there. You see as the 00 comes down the track. So Spengler should be the beneficiary of the lucky dog and get himself back on the lead lap. So at least this is good news for somebody.
Mere inches, Carl. Mere inches as he sneaks by, and yeah, they haven't let me down. I mean, if I can't get some green flag pit stop, I'm gonna get some action-packed caution flags here at the end of the race. We're at lap 172, about to break into where my flags turn to 25 and below. So getting closer and closer, but still, believe it or not, ladies and gentlemen, still a ton of driving left. If you were to kind of run this thing out underneath caution, we'd still be here for almost an hour, and then that's not what's going to happen. I'm sure these drivers might need another.
Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
They can get this thing done in about 20 minutes, or they can get this thing done in about an hour. It depends on how well they want to get the,
how frisky they want to be.
How frisky, but obviously the elbow's starting to come out just a little bit as these drivers are kind of going around here, and these cautions and late race cautions, if you were part of something early on and had to use faster pairs, you don't have that advantage to be involved in these mistakes. So,
well, that's what's a shame, because it doesn't necessarily seem like these cautions right here are being dictated by drivers getting a little too racy or anything like that. It's just mistakes. It's little mistakes, like trying to get a little bit too aggressive when it comes to the bump drafting in the corners.
I mean, it's easy to make a mistake at almost 200 miles an hour.
Yeah. It's there's that. There is that as well, and we'll check the dashboard here again and see if the speeds are up a little bit now, since the restrictor plates are on, but the restrictions of saving fuel are gone. So we'll see what kind of speeds these drivers are turning. But looks like we did have everyone come in there. And actually, no, 171. It looks like it was just Terry Jansen, Dale Garner Jr., and Aaron Gerwitz to pit lane here to get some service and some fuel and some tires. But Zane Bierman is going to be your leader on the restart. Michael Rakes, Michael Casey, Daniel Cardoza, and Tony Brennan now back up to 5th. That 65 led quite a bit early, and was your pole sitter here tonight, but it's been a while since we've seen him back up in the top 5. So maybe making some late race moves to get back up here to get the win. Paul Helms, Jason Chrisman, Matthew Jordan, Scott Henderson, and Chris Perry for your top 10. Then you got Brandon Sox, Terry Jansen, Dale Garner Jr., Aaron Gerwitz, and Justin Spengler, all on the lead lap. All cars left in the field right now, all 15 back on the lead lap. And now it's right about that time that you want to be, right where you're at right here on the lead lap. You got 27 laps to go to be 26 when we get the green flag. Everybody has a chance at this win.
Yeah, everybody has a chance here now, and it worked itself out. Whether they were on the lead lap or trying to get on the lead lap there at the potty break, but everybody has that opportunity here now, and it's really about you need to make smart choices in order to get to the front. And you talked about that luck, Carl. Right now is about when you need it.
Yeah, and ample amounts of it for sure as well, because it's not. I mean, you as a driver need to put yourself in the right spot at the right time. I don't want to say from there it's Jesus take the wheel, but I mean you need to really, 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 up in your sense of awareness and everybody that's around you, what they're doing. If you're in there, if you got teammates, hopefully they're still your teammates. Hopefully they're still willing to work with you to get to the front. I'm sure once you come out of turn number 3, nobody's your teammate anymore. Maybe even down the backstretch, you lose all your teammates. But you have to find still some people to work with right now to get you to the end of this thing and get yourself in that prime position.
Yeah, you want to get yourself in that prime position in order to run here. So yeah, I'm definitely waiting. I can't wait to see how this thing kind of ends as we are kind of winding down. Gonna cross this time by to start lap 175. Still have 26 laps to go, and the pace truck is still getting me. He's about 5 seconds off pace.
Well, he's off the track now as we're going to get another restart here, as it's going to be 26 laps remaining here, and we got a couple of cars, actually quite a few cars getting black flag. I'm sure they're all going to get cleared, and there we go, everything getting cleared up here. We're back to racing at Daytona for the Racing Line Daytona 500, down to the final 26 laps of this race. Again, everyone back on the lead lap of the 15 cars that are still running. Lost Bradley Worley about midway point as he had to leave the race for sometimes real life gets in the way. You want to have fun all the time. Sometimes you got to step away, even on the weekends. But either way, I want to thank everyone out there for tuning in here tonight. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like and subscribe. Get in touch with everything that CRN has to offer. And I want to give you a chance here one last time to see our spotlight paint schemes here, as the two that we chose are the 00 of Terry Jansen and the 28, now back on the lead lap, Justin Spengler. So which of those two paint schemes you want to have as the best paint scheme of the race? You still got another 5 laps remaining before we will close the vote and announce our winner. But at the front of this field, it is Zane Bierman leading out there in the purple number 55, the 191 Motorsports machine. He's got the 16 Michael Riggs right behind him. Kind of crazy. We haven't seen any kind of engine issues other than Bradley Worley here tonight. We've seen him blow up pretty early on in this race and was down a few laps early on. He fought his way back to get to 1 lap down before he had to end up leaving, but nobody else had any kind of issues. But now, as it gets later in this race and you get some more aggressive driving, do you possibly see some more before the end of this thing?
I think they're still kind of, they should be kind of easy with it. Obviously, just got to be careful, but they want to get tucked up in there and get things going. But there's really nobody really needs to be that close to the back bumper besides the person trying to push. And they're the ones going to be pushing those. That's another thing, obviously with them behind somebody trying to push and then maybe lifting just a little bit to kind of poke their nose out and get some air. You got to watch that third car in line, just end up giving them a shot, and then get, that turned into a shot to the leader, and next thing you got, a big wreck here. But right now, Zane Bierman's going to lead them around here again one more time with the Michael Rakes back there in P number 2 and number 16. Michael Casey sitting in 3rd. Tony Brennan up there in 4th. We've seen him lead a good portion of this race. Jason Crispin was up there as well. Paul Helms sitting in 6th, and Scruffy up in 7th. Scott Henderson in 8th. 9th is Daniel Cardoso, and then Dale Sox sitting back there in P number, now 10, as he's working his way around the 31. Trying to work his way back to the front, trying to work with the 14, it looks like, trying to get those two at the front. And it's kind of hard, but we're going to get some action here. Justin Spengler and Chris Perry. And let's get into it.
And now the important thing is get back in that draft, and it looks like Spengler is out of the draft. He's a little bit over a second back right now. Excuse me. And that is out of drafting range. He's going to have to get together with Chris Perry. And Terry Jansen is going to have to catch up with these two as well. Looks like Jansen's just in drafting range right now. It's 0.8 of a second right now and it looks like it's slowly going down, so just barely in the drafting range of Perry and Spengler, but these three need to get hooked up together. Gonna need to hope for a caution now, unfortunately, to be able to get back to this field up front, because they are plenty far behind right now, 3 seconds behind at the field. That is being led right now by Bierman at the front, as we are going to be coming to the last 20 laps of this race, the last 10th of the race here tonight. 180 laps will be in the books. It'll be down to 20, and we'll announce our best paint scheme of the night, as narrowed down by myself and Jimmy and voted on by all the fans out there in Sierra Nation. I want to thank everyone out there for doing so. Hit that like, subscribe, and get you in touch with everything that we have to offer, as we got racing 5 nights a week here on Sierra. And coming back to the line is going to lock it in. So Justin Spengler going to be awarded with the best paint scheme here tonight at the Racing Line at Daytona 500. But who's going to get that top spot? Who's going to get the top honors as the inaugural winner here and take home the cold hard cash for the winner? We're going to find out here in just a mere 25 miles. Or scratch that, 50. I just need to work my math a little bit. The math wasn't mathing.
20 times 2.5.
Yeah, my phone wasn't close enough to hit the calculator app.
And you can see that the 14 and 17 now, they're trying on the outside by themselves to kind of come up that whole line. And the 17 doing a whole lot of pushing, backed off a little bit here. But the 14 obviously out just a little farther and from the side draft, so it's not getting any help with that. When you're running up the side of the field and trying to use the side draft, you really got to pay attention to the two cars on the inside of you, especially if you're in midway. But this 14 is going to tuck down out of the way, just it comes back out.
You understand what's going on here, Jimmy? Yeah, I don't.
Quite.
And maybe these drivers are just kind of testing the waters right now, seeing what needs to be done to try and get any kind of draft moving. But you see, they're single file, but kinda. I guess if you want to consider a snake a straight line, it's all part of the same entity. But it definitely wasn't too straight there coming off the final corner. But it's still Zane Bierman leading the way here as the laps are starting to tick down here. Rakes, Casey, Brennan, Chrisman are your top 5. Then you got Helms, Jordan, Henderson, Garner, Gerwitz for your top 10. But it's still pretty much anybody's race. And as much as we say, the drivers like Spengler, Perry, and Jansen need a caution to come out to get them back to the field, we've seen it before where drivers who are 10th, 15th on the backstretch, all of a sudden there's a battle for the lead on the final lap, and the big one happens, and they come from 10th to win it on the last lap. So you never know what can happen at the end of these things, but certainly not in an advantageous position at the moment. But the top drivers right now, all the way down to Cardoza in 12th, all in line. And we're making a move right now. Everybody's single file, and this is the calm before the storm, Jimmy.
Calm before the storm as the drivers work their way around the track here and doing a pretty good job here this afternoon. And 17 of those laps they should be able to go the whole way. There should not be any worrying about I need to save fuel to in order to make it. Now, possibly being like checker territory, that might be another story.
Yeah, I mean, their laps, they've been getting them out. They can get 38 as we were told before the race. They last put them out at 167 for the majority of this field. I think, with the caution laps, they should be able to make it through at least one green white check. I'm not sure if we have 2 attempts here or just one, but hopefully we don't even need to find out, as it looked like the 16 was inside the rear bumper there of the 55. But either way, back to the line this time. 15 laps to go. So it is ticking down here pretty quickly here at the end. Nice little green flag run. Hopefully this thing stays green all the way to the end, and we can see which of these 12 at the moment has a legit shot at the win. A little bit of a gap, a little bit of a breakaway between Bierman, Rakes, Casey, and then Tony Brennan leading that, if you want to consider it a second pack. But I think this is just leaning back here a little bit to try and see how long it takes to kind of build up the run to jump to the outside and get out there and make a pass. Now, with it being so calm right now, I guess it all depends on where you're at in the field, but Jimmy, when do you make the move to the outside to try and go for that lead? Do you wait till that last lap, or do you have to make your move earlier to make sure you're not all of a sudden second, third, fourth in line on the outside?
I mean, you can go out there whenever you want, but if you don't have anybody to go with you, you're kind of on your own. So with lots of laps to go, the urgency to get around people is lower. So, it could be a little while. I don't think we'll see much of that until at least another 5 laps. So under 10 laps to go, you might see people starting to finally really bring that thing around.
Oh, there we go. Lost you for a brief second there. But back here as going back to the line, 13 laps to go here. Hopefully it's not an unlucky 13 for anyone out there. Everyone doing a great job right now. All 15 cars still on the lead lap, but again, it's those 3 that are still drifting back there with Chris Perry, Terry Jansen, Justin Spengler, 15 seconds behind this pack here. Actually, looks like about 14 seconds behind right now, but they're in desperate need of a late race caution here, with Zane Bierman leading this way right now, riding on board. And take a look at the dashboard here one more time to show you the kind of speeds here now. 191 leading this thing through the corner. Look back here at Tony Brennan just kind of riding along right now, but maybe a little bit faster right now compared to when we watched earlier on. They were topping out about just touching 195 going into to turn number 3 on the backstretch here. So we'll keep the dashboard up there, see what kind of speeds they're doing right now. But all in all, again, Jimmy, for a 200 lap race, I know it's maybe a little bit smaller field here with only 16 cars out there to start the race, but I think it's been pretty clean and really just some small little mistakes here in the race from bump drafting in the middle of the corners that caused these cautions here tonight. Not necessarily, from any kind of what I would consider bonehead moves.
Yeah, nobody's really made any bonehead moves.
Yet.
If I would say any kind of more, not aggressive, just more, I guess, confident driving, like it would be the 17. And I think that has a lot to do with how much time they have on the track. So if I was out there, I mean, I could definitely tell the people that are just kind of, because you've seen them race before, they're just, they're just chilling. And they're still at 10 laps, so they're chilling. And you can tell the drivers that maybe have a little less time on the track. And so right now we are starting to see some movement, especially from the back cars. And, we are working to 10 laps to go this time by. And you see the 14 stick their nose out right there. And then you obviously Maggie, Jason Crispin as well. So,
well, hold that thought as our 3 drivers that were off by themselves. You say there's a smaller field here tonight, so there's less of a chance of cautions. Well, how about a 3-car tandem that ends up bringing out the caution here? We'll take a look back and see what happened. And the 0-0 of Terry Jansen. This was a hook on the backstretch here, and I believe that the two working together in the Discord, but this didn't work out too well for either driver here tonight. But who it did work out well for? The 28 Justin Spengler getting a quote-unquote free pass here again. He's going to be able to catch up to the field, and we're going to have 13 cars for sure in the mix of this thing. Chris Perry, not sure if he has any faster pairs left this late in the race. The same thing with Terry Jansen, both limping around. Perry with a meatball. Jansen doesn't have a meatball, but certainly some damage to the 0-0. You see the 34 heavy damage there. And not sure if he, I was going to say, I don't think he got into his pit box, and still struggling to get in the pit box. You see that front right tire. That's not what it's supposed to look like, Jimmy. I think they need to work on that camber or the toe in or whatever it is. It's a little wobbly.
You know, we knew that they needed a little bit of help, but they weren't supposed to help themselves into the wall. And obviously 34 of Chris Perry just having a little bit of trouble there. But Chris Perry, you know, just going out there having fun here tonight. To have this, we just talked to him I feel like we just talked to him not too long ago up here as one of the pre-race reporters. And
Yes, yep.
And yeah, he ended up having a rough race then too. But you know, out here tonight, just enjoying getting involved with the community, the iRacing community, and that's what you're seeing here is the drivers kind of coming out and joining you know, a one-off event for some fun, and then a chance of, you know, winning a prize, you know, how little it may be. But the thing is just kind of get out there, just the camaraderie of the teams kind of coming together, meet new people, maybe even, you know, like, oh, you guys run together all the time. Or like, yeah, well, you know, we run over with X League, and then, you know, maybe they find themselves a new driver. So maybe even a way to kind of branch out there. You know, we do that here at CRN. All the drivers, we obviously bring together a special event here at CRN with all the leagues that we broadcast, because we're broadcast 5 times a week. So, well, more than 5 times a week, but 5 days a week. And we put them together so they can have a little fun race, and then we'll hand out some small prizes, you know, whether it's a free broadcast or a t-shirt, reach out to the fans that support us, all that kind of stuff. So, but it's a way for those drivers to kind of branch out, and we've started to see that through some of the drivers per broadcast. Like, some are in multiple leagues now. One big one here was the likes of your leader, Zane Bierman.
Yeah, and Jimmy mentioned earlier, if you want to help out a CRN at all, I mean, it is completely on you out there. You know, we use all the funds raised by the GoFundMe that was created by one of the core drivers here. I'll put the link in the chat there. You know, feel free. We don't expect anyone to do anything. We certainly love everyone that has already, and appreciate all the support out there. But I mean, at the end of the day, as long as you support your drivers and your friends, your family here by coming out and especially getting involved in the chat. I mean, to us that makes as much for us as donations do. But as we mentioned before, all donations to the CRN GoFundMe are going to be used for you know, making this broadcast better, whether it's, you know, helping myself or Jimmy getting upgrades on our systems to give you nice clean crystal broadcasts like hopefully you're seeing out here tonight. I know my broadcasts have gotten exponentially better here with the upgrades, and certainly don't feel obligated at all. And you know, when we say to make sure you hit that like and subscribe, none of that costs any money. If you want to subscribe to CRN, all it does is let you know when CRN is on, and gives you an idea of everything that is out there on CRN. If you want to hit that bell, that gives you a little alert anytime that CRN is live, so that way you don't miss it. I know you know, Barry sometimes has some issues, you know, forgetting when it's on, even though he has the bell. Maybe he needs an extra bell, 2 bells on there to get him.
Doesn't he have 2 accounts?
He does. Maybe he needs those both accounts with the bell. But as we said, it's not expected for anyone to get out there and donate and help us, and we're over halfway of what we've wanted to accomplish with the GoFundMe account, and it's fantastic. And a shout out to Stephen Harris, even though he doesn't like to be thanked for doing it, but he is the one that set it up without us even asking about it. He thought it'd be a really good idea to help myself and Jimmy get our standards up here a little bit on CRN. I know we've been doing it for multiple years, but you know the times are changing, and the iRacing engine not so much. So we have to adapt and figure it out. But these drivers are gonna have to figure it out here as well. 7 laps to go here as we're gonna get a restart here. Zane Bierman on the front row, gonna get launched off there very nicely. Mike Casey going to try and join him there on the inside. Looks like the 16 of Michael Rake's going to maybe try and slip down just barely. Just grease up the sides a little bit. He slides down there in front of Jason Chrisman. It's going to leave Tony Brennan, your pole sitter and early leader of this race, all by his lonesome on the outside. And, at this point in the race, you want to be on the outside and ready to move up there, but right now, he's dropping like a rock.
Yeah.
Oh! We're good. We're good. Deep breath. We're good. Nothing happened. Nothing to see here.
Yeah, Justin Spengler obviously had the in order to get back out there running with the group here.
Well, he wasn't involved in the last one. He was one of the three that wasn't involved. He was able to escape by. It was Jensen. Yep, Jensen. It looks like
everybody but Perry. Perry did not have a fast repair because he's still in the pit.
Yeah, it looks like Jensen is all cleaned up here. Doesn't look like any kind of damage. Maybe I can't tell if it's just that. It looks like just rubber buildup on the car there. But it is maybe not necessarily go time just yet. But ooh, that was close. Spengler. I mean, he's trying to get plenty of camera time here tonight. I'm not sure it's the kind that he wants right now, but man, it got a little bit racy right there as the field's going to spread back out here and go single file back to the line. Jimmy, 200 lap race. We got 5 to go.
200 laps. 195 complete. 5 laps to go. You've been hanging out with us all morning. And, we can't thank you enough. Harry Jensen out there making his way now into P number 10. So trying to work his way even more forward for the end of this thing. But Zane Bierman in that number 55 trying to maybe get a win. And, we talk about a little bit pushing the pusher going on. And that might not be good for the likes of Michael Casey. So, obviously Rakes needs to pay close attention there and come up from the bumper of Mike. And that was, Mike catching up to, obviously getting that run. And Mike probably knows and he needs to probably, kind of make sure he keeps pressure on that 55 to have a run here at the end. But, obviously the 14 of Daniel Cardoza out on the outside. And now the likes of the 9 of Aaron Gerwitz. So, yeah, a few drivers good things are working at outside crawl, but they seem to go out there. And there comes a run from the number 28 with the 17 pushing.
Well, I think another thing we haven't really talked about is, Jimmy, you got kids. You know what a long road trip is, I'm sure, with kids. I'm not saying that these are kids out here, but you've been in the same Discord now with some of your teammates, with some of your other fellow league mates for multiple hours running in this same race. At what point does the temper start to kind of flare and you start to get maybe a little bit irritated? Early on in the race, it might be something where it's okay, you made a mistake, it happened, but now it's late in the race. Well, exactly. I mean, at this point, I feel like, now everyone is a little bit more on edge.
Yeah, a little more on edge, the goofing around or the lightness, being a little bit lighter is probably starting to go out the window. Is probably the time to turn that Discord channel on mute and then focus on what needs to get done here and make the correct call. You see the 14 trying to muster up a charge is now starting to get the support of other drivers, as now you can even see drivers kind of poking up to even pick up or have that draft being picked up. And even 3 wide now starting to come into play here. So yeah, we're 3 wide at Daytona with just a few laps to go.
Jimmy, it's 2 to go. It's go time here. It's time to make sure you're in the right spot here to make that run. And we got 3 wide at the back. It looks like it's going to settle down. And Spengler, who's just been all over the place here.
Bam.
We're going to have a caution here as quite a few drivers are going to get involved in this one.
We will not see a white flag.
We're not going to see a white flag just yet. We are going to go overtime. 200 laps wasn't enough. These drivers want to keep it going here. And we'll take a look back and see what brought this one out. It was definitely some close racing. Not sure if it was a bump or no. Oh, right there. That's first time we've seen it here tonight, but we'll rewind it and show it to you here one more time because I think our friend Netcode came into play here. 14 Netcode into the 23 right there is what started this one.
Yep.
You see the 31 getting involved.
Was coming down a little bit, but Yeah, the net code came out.
Double
So
zero,
much
the
for,
72 getting clipped.
So much for I guess that thing that we talked about with the cars being able to run closer side by side was not part of the next gen.
Yeah, well, it may have been, but netcode's still going to come into play here the way it looks, as this is going to bring us under a caution here, and it's going to go into overtime. So the inaugural Racing Line 500, Daytona 500, is going to go into overtime here, and there are going to be 2 attempts at a green-white checker. So this is attempt number 1 now. I mean, unless you have any kind of fuel issues here, Jimmy, do you dare give up track position? I know there's only 15 cars out there, but do you? Oh, actually, technically 14
if I'm
cars.
in the back, yeah, sure. I mean, I might as well, but that way I know that I have plenty of fuel. But if you're up front, probably not. Zane Bierman, unless he's getting yelled at by iRacing that he's going to run out of fuel or whatnot, but he can make that. I think they're still good here, Carl.
I think so too.
They should be fine. I don't but if I'm in the
for
back,
this one, but if they have a second one, I don't know.
Yeah, we'll find out.
We'll take a look here at the front of the field. It looks like our first taker to pit road is going to be the 14 of Cardoza, and maybe the only one coming to the pits. And it looks like he's got a reason for it. That 14 on the outside. I've seen a couple of drivers have a meatball, and the admins clear the meatball so they can at least get back going here, not get a black flag or anything like that. So Cardoza's going to come in, and we'll see hopefully a faster pair kick in for the 14 if he gets into his pit box. So he blows through it here real quick, and now blows through it the other way. There we go. Third time's a charm. As we definitely need a better camera angle when we get to there we go. It's a pit lane. Actually, it looks like maybe the faster pair not an option here for the 14, as that could be the end of the race here for the 14, because that front right tire was definitely wobbling quite a bit. And if he doesn't have a faster pair, which doesn't look like he does, there's going to be too much required damage to get that thing repaired. So could be down to 12 cars. It looks like Scott Henderson, I believe he is all cleaned up here. And yeah, the Chat GPT AI Racer number 72 looks to be nice and clean, ready to go. So, you know, some rubber buildup on the front end and on the side here a little bit. But, I mean, this thing's been through a war here tonight. Over 200 laps now in the books. And, again, we're not done. We still need to finish this thing out. There's going to be green, white, checkered attempt number 1. It is Zane Bierman, Michael Rakes, Michael Casey, Jason Chrisman, Paul Helms for your top 5, Tony Brennan, Dale Garner Jr., Terry Jansen Jr., Aaron Gerwitz, Brandon Sox for your top 10, Justin Spangler, Scott Henderson. The 12 cars that are still out there in the field. It looks like we may have lost Cardoza and Jordan. Chris Perry's been in the pits for over 3 minutes now, so he may be done and dusted as well. Looks like Scruffy back rolling. He's going to rejoin the field here, and he is on the lead lap. So let's take a look at his cars, see if he's all cleaned up. And yeah, it looks like he's good to go as well, at least for the most part. I don't see any kind of damage on that 23. So maybe 13 cars still with a chance to get this win here tonight.
Yeah, he looks like he's in good position. What is going on?
Sounds like you're in position for a midday nap there, Jimmy. As
yeah,
we're just about finished up with this thing.
Yeah, typically Saturdays I like to sleep in, and I'm usually not up till 9 o'clock, and then I don't even know what woke me up. It was like 8 o'clock, and I was like, I started thinking about it. I was like, oh, that race is at 10. I was like, wait a minute, no, that's 9 o'clock. So I just got up. So I want to go back to sleep, or you would have been calling me. Where you at? So, no, but yeah, mid-afternoon will always be a good thing. But what's going on? I have a chase camera in this certain part of the race. I must have messed up the setting or something. I'll have to reset it. It flips around on me like at a certain point of the track. So somehow, some way, I changed my camera somehow. Not the way I usually do it. Let's see what happens here.
Well, we're going to see what happens here for the end of this race as the pace truck lights are out. Will we get this thing done with this one green, white checkered? Will it take two? Will this thing end under green, or will we see two green, white checkers go by the wayside and this thing end under yellow? I certainly hope not. These drivers deserve a green flag finish all the way to the end, and to see that checker flag come out with no other flags waving with it like the yellow flag. And I think everyone out there in CRN Nation deserves the same thing as well. So we'll see who's got the hot shoe tonight. This may have been over 200 laps right now, but none of those laps matter at this point. It is down to 2 laps to go, essentially. We're going to get the green flag. We're going to get the white flag. Actually, 3. Again, math ain't mathin'. But either way, green flag will be in the air here as Zane Bierman leads him back to Barney. The flag is waving. We're back to racing here at Daytona.
Back to racing here at Daytona as they try to finish this thing up. They need to make it around here. They need to cross that start-finish line in order to take this thing to figure out who's going to get the victory. But the elbows are out as they work their way around the track, winding these cars up. You know, Zane Bierman trying to hold on. He's in a dangerous kind of area, trying to learn how to block, and it's close by Michael Casey, and you know, Michael Casey's trying to just keep that push on here. As the drivers really battle on the back there. You see the 17, they kind of poke those out, but not getting the bump he needs or the push from the people that are out there at the moment. But these front 3, man, is a really kind of dangerous. 16 really treading on the thin ice, being tucked up underneath that 6 so close. Almost very, very close to that bump. They're push to push.
White flag is in the air. We are down to the last lap. The next flag will end it. The checkered flag awaits these drivers as no more cautions here in the night. The 98, big run on the outside. Can he work it? No, he's not going to. He's going to get spun. The 28 is going to get spun as well. So it's up to the front pack right now. The 9 getting pushed by the 17 in the back, but right now no kinds of runs, and now the 55 gets taken out here heading into turn number 3. We still got 3 cars battling here for the win. Mike Casey, Mike Rakes, and Paul Helms as they come out of the final corner. Side by side to the line. Which Michael is going to get it done?
Okay.
And it's going to be Michael Casey. By how much? I don't know, because it is .00 according to my SDK. Nothing separating Mike Casey and Mike Rakes. Paul Helms going to come home in third, only 0.1 seconds behind the two of them.
0.005. 0.005.
And there you go, 0.055. Is that 10 thousandths of a second? Oh, no, that's thousandths. So 5 thousandths of a second separating the field here after 204 laps here at Daytona. What a finish. Let's go ahead and take a look back here at that final lap here one more time and show you the move here that eventually Mike Casey made as they come back to the white flag right here. Zane Bierman in the spot that, again, I don't want to be in. I don't want to be the leader here coming to the white flag. You feel like you're a sitting duck here, but either way, that's where his position was. Mike Casey right there behind him, pushing him through turns 1 and 2. You see the 16 kind of backing up here a little bit and maybe waiting to get the run from Paul Helms. But then Zane Bierman makes a bit of a move right there that opened up the inside. Maybe Mike Casey give him a little fake out there, and Casey looks to go to the inside, gets him in the quarter panel. It's going to send Bierman around. And then the run through 3 and 4 here. Helms tried to go to the outside. It wasn't there. And then here on the front stretch of 16 had a slight advantage right there. You seen he had a bumper in front, but Casey worked it back here to just get the win here by 5 thousandths of a second. We'll get our top finishers here in a moment, but Jimmy, I think this is the finish that these fans out here in CRN Nation deserved.
Yeah, it's you know, obviously tough break there for the 55 of Zane Bierman. You know, you get in that position and kind of a run to the end there, and Michael Casey was able to work the track to his advantage in order to get that very, very part of the bumper across the line before the 16, because the 16 did what he could to try to get the win here, and almost had it done. Obviously was able to back it up, got the run, got to the outside, very close there by Casey. Kept it up to the high side. It almost looked like the 16 was going to win. When they come across the line, I was kind of surprised to actually see the 6 kind of squeak out there on top. So that's how close it was when watching it from a different angle here. So I was messing around with one of the chase cameras, and I had it off to the side so I was watching the bumpers. But yeah, great ending here to the first race here. And I'm sure it'll be more special events to come. I think I seen in the Discord something about maybe possibly in 3 months or so, possibly another one or at Talladega. So Super Speedway running at its finest here on CRN, but another one wrapped up in the books. Winner's gonna be Michael Casey over Michael Rakes and Paul Helms, and then the rest of the field: Brandon Sox, Dale Garner Jr., Terry Jensen, Scott Henderson, Zane Bierman, Matthew Jordan, Jason Crispin, Aaron Gerwitz, Justin Spangler, Tony Brennan, Daniel Cardoso, Chris Perry, and Bradley Worley. So I want to say congratulations for completing a 500-mile event. You have a small taste of what NASCAR does on a weekly basis. So if that's your passion, you just did it. So congratulations.
510-mile event.
We'll definitely look forward to seeing them at the next one.
You see the point of view from the top 3 here coming across the line, but we'll give you a rundown here of tonight's final results. And it is... Come on. There we go. It is going to be... That's qualifying results. That would be why I was going to say it wasn't Tony Brennan. Sorry, Tony, but it was Mike Casey getting the win here, according to SDK, .004, so even closer according to SDK here. Mike Rakes finishing in second, Paul Helms rounding out your podium positions here. Brandon Sox, Dale Garner Jr. for your top 5. Terry Jansen certainly involved in quite a bit here tonight, but comes home just outside the top 5 in 6th. Scott Henderson, a good fight back there for 7th. Zane Bierman, Matthew Jordan, not Michael. Jason Crispin for your top 10. Then you got Aaron Gerwitz, Justin Spangler, Tony Brennan, Daniel Cardoza, Chris Perry, and Bradley Worley for your 16-car field. But it's about time to give these drivers their well-deserved interviews here tonight. And we're going to start off with your third-place finisher here tonight. If I can get back to him. There we go. Third-place finisher here tonight, Jimmy. It's going to be the 64 of Paul Helms.
Hey, Paul, Jimmy, and Carl up in the booth. You copy?
I got you. How y'all doing?
Pretty good yourself. And obviously out here for the first race here with that Daniel was able to put on and get a bunch of you together here on a Saturday morning. You guys tackle over 500 miles here at Daytona. A little bit of an endurance race for the drivers that like to just go left. Give us a rundown on how it was out there.
Oh, just trying to keep it steady. I had the flu hit me yesterday, so I'm actually out here with the flu racing, and that's just try and hold it steady, try and stay with everybody and keep going.
Well, you did a pretty good job here keeping everything alive. Obviously, a few cautions here and there, nothing too major, just a little slip-ups and kind of keep round people up. You guys had yourself a little potty break there on the back on the mid race there, kind of let you stretch your legs. But it seemed like that was the fastest 5 minutes that I've ever known. I guess that's just the way it goes.
We'll check it more than twice.
The car and get it right.
Yeah, really. Seriously, I went and grabbed me a Gatorade, fresh air, came back in, and he said 30 seconds. I'm like, wait a minute, what? Okay, let's go. I love these long races. I really do. I like a good long race. I just wish I felt better and wish I could have been up there fighting more to start with than hanging back and letting it come to me. But that's the way you run a Daytona 500.
Yeah, I mean, you were able to get out there. It is it's hard. Obviously you got the special events that happen in iRacing, and sometimes you're out there obviously racing with a lot of drivers that you race with each week. So I'm sure it was a little more enjoyable than obviously the official event when there's people you don't know and a lot of egos out there that make things interesting. We'll put it that way. And
Oh, we keep
yeah.
it interesting when we're all talking too. You know that.
Well, no, well, a little more flavor. I'll say a little more flavorful and passionate.
There we go.
And the other drivers that you're competing against. But either way, you're able to complete the race here tonight. You're finished up in that third place. So we'll go ahead and say congratulations. But more off, we'll let you get give you some time for any shots you might have in that car.
Oh, I mean, Daniel for putting it on, you guys for broadcasting it, you know, Kim's Cup and more, the Jordan family for supporting it. It's great to see everybody get out here and run it. So just super fun time. Look forward to doing more of them.
Well, sure, there'll be some more in the future as Daniel seems set to tackle on this big task of getting drivers together and to run longer races. So either way, again, congratulations. We'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Yes, sir.
That is your third place finisher here tonight, the 64 of Paul Helms. And definitely understand his sickness. I'm going through a little bit here as well. So hopefully Paul feels a little bit better, but maybe this third place finish here will make him feel a little better as well. Not sure how good Michael Rakes feels coming home in a second here tonight, but I mean, you got there, Michael. You had a chance at the win. You even led for a brief moment coming to the line, but the side draft that got you to the front pulled you back there a little bit at the end. How happy are you with the second place, or how devastated are you at the second place?
It feels good. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about it. Better than I was expecting before we started here with a pretty poor qualifying by me. But yeah, I guess I kind of mistimed it a little bit. Could have done it a little bit later. It probably would have worked out better, but we'll see. We'll try again next time.
Yeah, I mean it's tough to try and finally make that move, and it looked like he was not letting you go to the inside there, and you made the move to the outside. Again, the side draft got you enough to get you a bumper ahead, but he kind of worked you up that track and worked you further up there to the point where he could finally use a little bit of side draft and turn down on you. I mean, is there any thought of kind of pushing him down there yourself, or were you just trying to use that side draft and work yourself up the track as well to stay away from him?
I was just trying to stay away from him at that point because I figured if I was going to stay on this door, it's going to invite more contact than what we had. It's just trying to keep it somewhat clean, even though it's the end.
Well, listen, 510 miles here at Daytona is not easy, and I'm sure you're going to need a drink, a little breather, maybe another potty break, certainly now that you're done here with this thing. But it's got to feel good to finish up here on the podium, and I want to say congratulations from us up here in the CRN booth. And before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout-out to or thanks to?
Just everybody for letting me come in here and race. It's really fun. Just starting with the 191 group here last week, so really fun to get in here.
Well, it was certainly a good run there to the end, so congrats again to you and the 16 team for getting the second place here tonight. We'll let you go celebrate, and hopefully we'll be seeing you around soon.
Thank you, guys.
It's your second place finisher here tonight, the 16 of Michael Rakes. Just not getting it done, 4 thousandths of a second, but the man that did get it done, Jimmy, we've seen him in victory lane once or twice before, but this time it's a little bit bigger win here for the 6 of Michael Casey.
Who let this guy in? I mean, I just had him in the booth the other night. I mean, he because he watched the race, he got excited. Need to go out here and win another
sorry,
one.
Here, let me help you out. Good job, Mike. Okay, bye. All right, just kidding.
We talked to him for like we had a caution-filled race that we had to kind of get out here and watch these next-gen cars. He told me how much he hated the next-gen cars, but here we are, Mike. Obviously in the race here, running with your fellow league and racers out there.
Hold on, Jimmy. I got to butt in again. Did we hear somebody else being a liar? It's bad enough people lie about I hate this track. I can't do good there, and then they go and win, and now all of a sudden I hate this car.
Yeah.
Proceed.
Yeah, no, it's Mike, obviously, we've had you up here in the booth. We've had you up here even to help us out up at CRN, so we always appreciate that. But today, or this morning, I should say, you came out here, give it a try to run a full-length event. It's obviously a challenge to kind of go out there and getting that mindset that you have 200, you have to travel 500 miles. I mean, for me, that's me traveling, for 7 hours in a car to get to a park with the kids in there. So you did it, half the amount of time, but obviously with some of your favorite drivers out there in the Discord. And I'm sure you guys are having a good time early on, but things probably heated up as it came to the end. Give us a little rundown of your race and how the mood kind of shifted, or did it shift from the beginning towards the end?
Yeah. Well, right off the bat, I do want to apologize to Zane. I did not mean to get into him like that. When I checked up a little bit, I think Mike was already committed to the back bumper. So when I checked up, it kind of just drove me into Zane, and I definitely got into him. And I talked to him, and I apologized to him. Obviously, I think that's the one downfall to this plate track racing stuff is everything is good and copacetic, and then you get down to the last 20 laps and all the bumps become more aggressive. Nobody you start getting a little bit less room for everybody, which is what you have to do. But anyways, I just want to apologize to Zane because I was not trying to do that at all. And we already kind of talked, but again, apologies to him because I would like to see Zane had an opportunity to get a win. But yeah, the first half of the race is always the marathon. Everybody needs to work together. There's no sense in chopping noses and side drafting super early. And for the most part, everybody kind of just got down to that bottom lane and rode. And I know that's kind of boring to watch, but that's honestly what you kind of need to do. And it just becomes more of a fuel management. And we did have one green flag pit stop tonight, which I thought everybody did pretty good from what I got
Jimmy,
to see in the
not
group
enough
that
for
I
Jimmy.
went down with.
Not,
So yeah, it would have been nice, and it seemed like we were getting really close to another one. I think we were like 10 laps from peeling off, and then we started getting some cautions at the end of the race, which is again that's the plate track stuff in a nutshell. Everybody is supposed to mind the p's and q's, and then get towards the end of it, and it gets more aggressive. Everybody stops giving the room. The side drafts really start coming into play, and nobody's really saving fuel. And another thing too is keeping these cars from getting so hot, man. That was another thing that was very hard tonight. I mean, you could overheat these cars within a lap and a half. It was pretty wild, but overall, it was a fun race, a long one. But I didn't think I really was going to have an opportunity at the end, just because I figured that outside line was going to start rolling in. But lucky enough to get myself in position and get the 6 car get a victory tonight. So definitely happy about that.
Yeah, you won that by a whole 4 thousandths of a second here.
Oh, it was wild. I didn't know who won
Yeah,
because it was like Mike won. I'm like, wait, I'm Mike. Oh, second place is Mike. I was like, which Mike? So yeah, it was. We didn't really know who got it at the end. It was
it
like
was
there was a
close.
delay in iRacing. We were going into one, and I still didn't know I won yet. So it was pretty wild. Great
Yeah,
finish, great battle with
it
Mike.
was it was definitely a great photo finish there at the end for y'all to kind of come across. So either way, Mike, obviously you can tell that you're out there and there was a lot of things going on. You were able to overcome the longevity, the green flag pit stops, the cautions, and keep that car clean, and then ultimately at the end come across as a winner here. So we wanted to say congratulations as always and give you a little bit of time for some shout outs before we let you get out of here.
All right, sounds good. Well, obviously, we appreciate you all jumping on board and broadcasting. I know it's a Saturday and it's a long show to sit here and broadcast, but we appreciate that. Thanks to all the sponsors that were a part of putting this thing on. Thanks to Daniel for putting everything on and organizing everything. He did a good job. So we hopefully we'll have another special event in the future again with everybody. So it was kind of fun doing that. But yeah, shout out, like I said, shout out to you all in the broadcast. Definitely, guys, get those thumbs up and sub to Core because they're awesome, and they put on a great show every time they go out and broadcast these races. Shout out to Kim's Cups and more. I know Scruffy jumped on board. We had AdminBoxx. There was quite a few people that jumped on board tonight, and if I missed anybody, I apologize. And then I want to give a shout out to Michael and Paul on their podiums. Paul was not feeling very good today. He was kind of racing through the flu, so you could tell he was struggling towards the end to get that stuff. It always goes good until you get to that sprint, and it usually goes all to you know what. So apologies to him. Congrats on all the podiums tonight, and like I said, that's all I got for this morning. I almost said tonight. Yeah, I don't know what I'm doing. I think it's Sunday. So,
We made it to the afternoon, or at least in the afternoon,
yes,
officially.
we are in the
did make it.
afternoon.
We did. We're even in the afternoon in my time
Yeah.
zone. So again, congratulations, Mike. Appreciate the shout outs. And again, we'll let you go celebrate this one with your friends and family.
Awesome, awesome. Like I said, thank you guys. I know that was a long one, so appreciate y'all watching and broadcasting the show.
Yes, sir.
That is your winner here tonight for the inaugural TRL Daytona 500. Definitely want to thank everyone involved in it, and I think the biggest person that we need to thank is the man that's behind the curtain here, that being Daniel Pinkston. As we pull him up here, mid sentence, because that's what we do. I don't care if you're talking to somebody else. No, we need you. Get up here, shut your mouth, get in here, and talk to us. But either,
yes, sir.
yeah, exactly. There you go. Now you're learning. Well, either way, Daniel. I mean, the race complete now ends up being the Racing Line Daytona 510 here tonight as you go overtime racing. But all in all, I mean, what are your thoughts on this first one here tonight? What are your takeaways? What are you learning from this one, and what would you like the most?
I mean, as far as takeaways go, I'm definitely going to have this idea more than 2 weeks prior to the event next time. Going to try and give about 3 months advance notice. But I mean, it's a super speedway track. Anything can happen. In my professional race controller, in quotations, opinion, I think it was some good racing. There might have been one or two slightly boneheaded moves, but at the end of the day, rubbin's racing, until it's wrecking.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
I'm overall, I'm super happy for the turnout. I wish we could have got those other, I think it was 10 cars that had signed up, but I think with a little more lead time prior to the event, we can definitely get a better field there. And yeah, I'm my anxiety has finally subsided.
You can breathe a little bit. You can take a second potty break. We'll
Yeah.
we'll allow that. But yeah, either way, it was
I got gasoline.
It was a blast. I mean, me and Jimmy had a good time out here, and I mean, it's obviously a long broadcast for us up here in the booth, but I think everything was run the way it should be. I think the halfway point where you guys had the the sponsored potty break, I think that was good. It just for the drivers too. I mean, I know endurance racing. Me and Jimmy can spend 4 or 5 hours in the car, and it's okay, but sometimes these plate track races, although you're pretty much just flat to the floor and turning left and trying to follow people, sometimes they get just as stressful as being in the car for twice as long when it comes to the endurance races. So I think that the break was
Yes,
definitely needed for these drivers to kind of just take a breather. Okay, the first half of the race is done. It's still not time to really get after racing yet, but then we can kind of settle in here and get to it. And I thought it was kind of funny that the drivers voted to keep all those drivers a lap down, and then not too long after that there was a caution, and everybody took the wave around and kind of gave the finger right back. So
yeah.
it worked out nice.
I think we had a few drivers that were watching the broadcast while we were under green, because no sooner that I popped back into my Discord channel, I got iRacing Com saying that they didn't want it, so I let them put it up to a vote, and the nays won. So they gave the initial finger, and then we got the caution, and those guys still got their wave around, and were able to give it right back, like you said. So so sometimes it's just it's
The nays
fun
won,
to
but then
see how it's going to play out.
the nays won, but then the caution gave the nanner. We're gonna get back in the lead lap anyway, so
Exactly.
it worked out nice. But listen, at the end of the day, once again, I want to thank you, all the sponsors, all the people behind the scenes. Obviously, yourself, your son, helping with the adminning, and all the fans out there. It was a blast to be able to put this on, and I want to thank you for the opportunity to do so as well. So before we let you go and get out of here, who do you want to give a shout out to or thanks to before we let you go?
Big shout out to, of course, Core Racing Network. Everything you guys do, from the broadcasting to the different racing, I guess, specialties. Um, our sponsors, again, AdminBoxx, Kim's Cups and more, Jordan Family Racing. They contributed to being able to get these guys paid out. My son kind of volunteering his time to help with adminning, and then the viewers. It was fantastic to see their interactions in the chat like normal. I think at one point I saw 25 people watching at one time, so that was kind of exciting to see. And hopefully on our next event, we'll be able to get you guys back to broadcast for that. Just a quick little promo for that. It will be Gen 6 cars at the Glen.
Oh, very interesting. Very
So,
interesting.
something to shake it up a little.
Yeah, that will definitely do so. And I think the last question I have is maybe we have to kick you out of the room and pull your son in here so he feels like it's a safe space, to see if he actually volunteered to help out here today, or if it was, hey, you're volunteering, you're helping out with me today. So, but we'll take you for your word, since you're the one that pays the bills here, keeps the lights on right now at CRN.
Well,
so
he's getting
I guess we
paid.
got to take you for your word.
He's definitely getting paid for it.
Okay, there we go.
He earned $20.
Nice,
So,
nice.
he can't complain, but he was definitely, I heard a big sigh of relief and the words, "Oh my God, it's finally over," once the checkered flew. So, he was excited about it, but
It's one of those
just like
$20
for
is
the
$20,
drivers,
but geez.
yeah, just like for the drivers, it can be just as tiring
Yes.
for us up in the booth, you guys as the broadcasters, as it is for the drivers. But again, thank you guys. Thank you to all the drivers that come out, the sponsors, and the fans that tuned in.
Once again, we appreciate it. And we appreciate the shout outs, and thank you again for letting us put this on for you. We'll let you go celebrate, and let you go down there and resume your conversation with the drivers. And we'll hopefully be talking to you soon. I'm sure we'll be talking to you on during the 191s every once in a while. We'll bring you up there and have a chat as we do. But either way, thanks again, and we'll let you get out of here.
Thank you, gentlemen.
That is Daniel Pinkston, the man behind the curtains here for. You hate to see that, you get that first green white checkered and you start to worry like, oh, if we get a second green white checkered, if that one goes caution, then the race ends under caution. And he just had 500 plus miles to end under caution. You hate to see that. So I love the fact that this thing at least finished under green.
Yeah, I like to see it finish under green. It was a great job out here, and look forward to the next one.
All right, well, that is, again, going to do it here. That is this is just a special event for us here on CRN to be able to put this one on, but we'll be back to our regular racing program starting tomorrow night with the 191 Motorsports, and start another week here at CRN with 5 nights of racing. But for myself and Jimmy from the Daytona International Speedway, we'll see you at the track.
Peace.